There we go. I think we're live. All right. So
We'll do it live.
we'll do live. More takeovers today. Let's see what happens. Yeah, how many people do you think are going to actually apply for takeover? So we had a lot last week, didn't we? Probably had about 20 people try to get the free takeovers.
For sure.
And we have one today. If Alex shows up, that's what was the girl squad? What was it? Team Girl Squad?
Yes. Team Girl Squad.
Team Girl
He's
Squad.
Playing nothing but the ladies.
Yeah, so if Team Girl Squad is playing today, then that's the first takeover or second takeover or third takeover, whatever it happens to be. Last week we were able to get 2 full takeovers in, although we probably had time for a third. It was just sort of ironing out the technical difficulties, getting the process going. But
yeah, could have been way more if it wasn't for the lockout issues with 2-factor and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So we think we've got that handled. But we'll figure that out. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for people to show up, I don't want to give away any noob versus pro stuff because we've got that coming on Friday, and we should save some of that information for Friday. But we got a couple of things going on in the game we can talk about. So the first thing that we've got going on is this Octoberfest kind of thing. And there is a Dungeon Divers. It doesn't look overwhelmingly difficult. These events are always strange. We were talking about this last night. They give you 4 days on the calendar, or in terms of time, like the countdown is 4 days, but they spread it out over 5 server days. So you actually get 5 opportunities to get your 500 points. So even though it's 2,000 points to get all the way up to the barrel, you can actually technically get 2,500 points, or you could have. Except they don't do it on the server reset. They do it at some weird time. They do it like 2.5 hours after the server reset. So you and I each got about, what, like 200 points, 200 to 300 points?
Yeah, I think I got right around 230-ish.
Yeah, I think I got about the same.
It reset at 10:30 in the evening.
Yeah, so I think I got just around 200 points, and then it reset. And so I'm closing in on 300 for today on this account. And then I have my main account. I still have to go over and do that. I think the point totals are the same. I think this is the same for everyone. But so we've got a primal shard available here, 100 quartz, which is like whatever. Who cares? That's stupid. But we've got a barrel. We've got 130 brews available. We've got a 4-star chicken. We've got an XP boost. So there are some good things out there. And then if they throw me a free primal shard, I'll take it. I need all the help I can get on this account.
All the help. Catching up to do.
Yeah, I got a lot of catching up to do. But so they've got that going on. Now, in addition, they have all of these other events going on because they also have this Prism crystal summoning event that's going on right now. So this event does not look nearly as good. So this is an artifact and enhancement event. You need 4,000 points. And that's just at this level. I think on my main, it's like 6,300 points or something like that to get all the way through here. So, you know, if I'm just naturally enhancing some artifacts and I pick up some extra energy or gems or whatever, great. But 15 prism crystals for the max when you need 25 prism crystals of this event just to summon one time, that seems ridiculous. So I'm not a big fan of that. And if we go to the tournaments, we also have several tournaments going on. So the champion chase, this is the most outrageous of all of them, which is just hilarious to me. So this is a champion chase tournament that's going on. Now, I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they included this. But you're looking at, this is like the normal fusion champion chase style tournament. So 3,000 points for your first legendary tome. Which is like, all right, whatever. It's a legendary tome at 3,000 points. That's not different. But there's no fusion event going on. So the rewards that they replaced like the fusion fragments with, or the fusion champions with, are like 10 soul coins, or what? Not soul coins, soul essences here. You know, like the epic tome at 1550 is not totally awful. You know, and then they added more to maybe get you to go all the way for this. Was this Immortal Soulstone or whatever this one is, all the way up here? And then just normal rewards. You know, the normal rewards. I mean, it's Soulstone rewards, but like normal levels of rewards. Nothing crazy here. So this one seems just egregious. Like, hey, we want you to spend a lot of money on Prism crystals. What are they called? They're prismatic. Oh, they're gone.
Prismatic shards?
No, here they are. They're over here. Prism shards. So they want you to spend money on the Prism shards and then use the Prism shards to pull for the champion chase. But that's just, who's going to do that? You can't even save these up. So it's not like you can save these for a couple of months and then go in on the champion chase, because they force you to use these crystals, these shards, at the end of every event. So whatever you've collected will in fact be pulled, and you cannot save them for the next event. The only crystals that you can save are like incomplete sets. So if you don't have 25, let's say you have 20 left over, that 20 will stick around until the next event. But if you have 30, they will force you to pull the 25, leaving you with 5. So you can't even save up for one you like. You just have to automatically pull. So clearly, since nobody has any of these saved, the champion chase is all about spending money on Prism shards and then going for the champion chase, right? Like it's a complete whale event. Like there's no way that any free-to-play player can compete, and there's no way any low spender can compete. You know, so this champion chase tournament is basically out there for the whales and the krakens. And I think the reason is they're trying to throw something at the whales and the krakens to get them to spend after the sort of mythic, you know, champion primal shard thing fell flat. Because the whales and the krakens are pissed off and they don't want to spend any money right now. So it's kind of interesting what's going on. Champion training tournament at 11.5, you can get 1 pull. That's great. They do have some interesting soul. They got Uko perfect souls here. Uko's a great champion. I wouldn't mind some more souls on my Uko, but champion training is like there's a fusion probably going to launch within 2 weeks. And then the dragon turn attack. This is not so bad, especially because there's a 3 times speed set drop chance in dragon right now. So if you're going to be farming that in dragon anyway, then you could potentially maybe get yourself 1 free prism shard and get a pull. And the nice thing about the prism shard, I guess, if there's anything nice, is it's a guaranteed epic. So if you can get 3,800 points or more, whatever it is on the main account, I think it's more than this on the main account, you can get an epic. So that's where we stand with the events today. How are we doing? Who's here?
All right.
We've got a few people viewing. All right, nobody said hello yet. Hello to the people. There we go, Tributor. What do you think about the champion pool event, the Prism Shards? We were just talking about that. And I think, in general, I don't mind the concept behind a summon pool. There are a lot of games that do a summon pool, right? So I like this idea. It allows players to focus on specific champions that they want. You know, only a 4% chance of a legendary here. That's why they dropped it to 25 prism shards, or I'm sorry, crystals per prism shard, or whatever it is. Yeah, it's the crystals. You can get crystals per prism shard. So when they dropped this from 75 to 25, they also cut the summoning chances. So they're making it a little bit cheaper, but they're also making it a bit worse, right? And so the rates are overall the same per dollar. So they're not actually making them more valuable. They're just making them have a lower barrier to entry. I don't really like this that much. I mean, I like the pool. I don't like any other aspect of it. I don't like the fact that it's crystals instead of just buying shards. Like, you should just be able to get a shard. And this is a thing that casinos do, right? When you go to a casino, you take your cash, you give them cash, and they give you chips, right? And the reason that they do that is not just for like ease of operation. That's one of the reasons. But one of the major reasons is because when you don't have cash in your hand, you don't think of it as money. You think of it as chips. And so it's hard to like equate, because they're not the same dollar amounts as your bills. You have like a $25 chip when you have a $20 bill, that kind of thing. You know, so even if some of them line up, it's like they're trying to get you to think about money differently and kind of not make the calculation in your head what the money equals. And so I think they're doing the same thing here. When you just buy one shard and you know that it's $4, you're like, hey, that one shard is $4. But if you have to convert that $4 into crystals, and then you have to convert the crystals into the shards, it's like an extra step. And I think they're just trying to separate you from the thought that, oh, this is X number of dollars, which is, it's a tactic that casinos use and it works. It's tried and true. It's not particularly friendly. It's definitely meant to entice people to spend more money. And I get, we talked about this last week. Plarium is a business. They deserve to make money. But when their practices are predatory, that's when we have a problem. So it feels like a step in that direction, right? Like they're moving towards yet another predatory monetization practice. The actual summon pool is pretty cool. I actually like this idea. I like games that do this. So
a little bit of good with all the bad.
Yeah, that's the way they do it, right? Like 20% good, 80% bad. That's the way they work with the money. That's okay. All right, we've got Alex here. Too busy listening, but hello. Kate is here. Hi, everyone. I know, Kate, you won't be here very long because you always take off for dinner time or family time in just a short bit. But I'm glad that we could start on time today so that we could have you with us for a little while. Victor Solon says, it's just Takeover. Do you do something like a coaching too? So we do both coaching and takeovers. But for this particular, stream, we'll have to see. We have a takeover already on the docket. If Alex wants the takeover from last week. Tommy Dashed. Hello. Yep. Family time in an hour. I'm all for family time. That's an important time of the day. So, all right. Well, last week, we kind of waited to get more people in here to start talking about takeovers, but then we had a big delay with the takeover that we couldn't quite get worked out. So, Alex, Team Girl Squad, let's get you into the Discord. If you're interested in that takeover, let's go ahead and get that moving right now. Let's do that right now so that we can get started, or as soon as you're ready, and we can see what is going to happen today. You ready to have me fail your account spectacularly in a very public fashion? I thought we did okay last week, actually. It worked out well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
The Fire Knight solution was really nice.
Yeah, that worked out. That was really easy. Like, from my standpoint, that was really easy because I didn't have to build out any champions or do anything. I just kind of swapped, looked at some things, I think I rolled up like one piece of gear, and then it worked out. Yeah, it helps to have Alex, a little bit of silver there. I'm sorry, son?
I was going to say, Alex, if you're ready, you can join us in the Discord channel. You should see that now. And we can get you started.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, we'll have to see what we're going to be doing on this takeover. So if you are interested in a takeover, let me just run everybody through this in case you weren't here last week. In order to qualify for a takeover, you must join our Discord community because we run it through the Discord. So we have a contest where basically everybody who's interested, they enter their name. We have this little bot in the Discord, and then the bot randomly picks a winner, and then that winner gets a takeover. Now, if you prefer coaching as opposed to a takeover, that's fine. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. You will have to come in here to the voice channel so that we can exchange information. If you have a microphone and you want to be on stream, you can certainly be on stream. But if you want to talk and not be on stream, you just want to talk to me with your microphone, we can also make that happen. Or if you just rather, I kept saying tap last week. If you just want to type out in chat, you can also do that. So there is no pressure to perform or be in the public eye or anything like that. But we will be looking at your account, obviously. So your in-game name will be visible, and it will be posted on our YouTube channel in the live section as a permanent record of what I've done to your account. So just be aware of that. Okay, so Team Girl Squad, you'll probably want to mute the stream and listen to me in the Discord.
Yeah, I just did that. I'm not sure if my mic works though.
Okay, just a second. Let me make sure that I can hear you. Gotta turn you up a little bit. All right, welcome. How you doing? Great, thanks. All right, so what do you want us to do to your account today? What are we looking at? All right, so you're looking for Brutal Clan Boss? Brutal Clan Boss and Arena. All right, let's write that down so I don't forget. Brutal Clan Boss. Okay. And Arena. All right, well, if you can send me your information, we will get fired up here and we will take a look. And you said you've been working on a speed tune for Brutal? Okay. Yeah, I didn't keep your information from last week, so you'll have to send that over. Actually, maybe I did. Maybe it's just in here. Yeah. Which is only us, but for now, somebody will come in later. Yeah. All right, so that's what we're going to be working on. We're going to be working on Arena or Clan Boss. Now, the Clan Boss, anytime like somebody mentions a takeover of Clan Boss, that's always interesting to me because it really depends on, you know, not only the team that you're currently using, but your available champions, the money that you have, and then if you're working on something like Brutal, we want a speed tune that can potentially also work for Nightmare and maybe Ultra Nightmare or whatever. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Okay, so let me get this going. Yeah, they can't hear either of you right now. Yeah, you want me to? Okay. All right, we'll open that up then. Let's see. All right. Let's take a minute here. All right, looks good. So Team Girl Squad, if there's any way you could turn up your microphone just a little bit, that would be helpful.
Let's see.
You could probably do it either in Discord or you could do it on your Windows or whatever you're using. All right, so I'm going to take a look at Arena first. Let's go ahead and take a look at Arena. So you are in Gold 1. All right. And this is the team you're running, which is a very good old school style team. Now, when I say old school, I mean before Wukong, right? Before Wukong without Deacon Armstrong. So you've got that speed aura. You've got the High Katoon in the lead. That's your turn meter filler. You've got your, I'm assuming that these are running. Yeah, let's check out the speeds here. So let's see what High Katoon is running at 191. Spirit Host should be the second fastest. Yep, 188. War Maiden's the third at 187. And Athel is running at 166. And she's got the 15%, and she needs to make 191. So let's see, 15% would be what, 24, which gets you to, yeah, with the fraction, it'll get you right to 191. You'll get 25, right? So you're literally just perfectly speed tuned.
I tried.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So let me ask you, how's this team working for you? I mean, obviously you're in gold 1.
I can't stay in gold 1. I feel like I need a better nuker. I'm getting a lot of force affinity stopping me.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking at, well, let's go back. Let's take a look at this. So obviously, you have 4-star Haikatoon, so you're leveling her up currently.
I actually prepared to make a 6-star right now.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that was going to be War Maiden, Whisper, or Deliana.
Okay.
But I am ready to
Okay.
move up another one.
All right. So War Maiden, Whisper, and Deliana, they're all here. Those are 3 good champions. But so, yeah, looking at this, right, obviously at 48k power, one of the reasons that power is so low is just because the champions aren't leveled up. But that doesn't mean your nuker's not hitting decently hard. So let's take a look at Athel here. Okay, so you have your 100% crit rate. Your crit damage is pretty low. Accuracy is fine. You're trying to land her weak in dungeons and stuff. You could probably get this up a little bit higher. Attack is okay. Obviously, you're missing an amulet. That's tough, right? Because you can get that extra crit damage. You can also get accuracy out of it, an amulet. So, getting in there and farming Spider is going to be helpful. But I'm in the exact same boat. My Athel on my new account does not have an amulet. I farmed Spider 500 energy worth of Spider. And I got a banner with resist. That's what I got. Defense and resist. So here I was
happy to get the accuracy.
Yeah, you've got accuracy, so that's good. And then you've got the starter pieces, the lifesteal pieces, which are all good pieces. And then you've got retaliation, which is an interesting choice here. I like retaliation. I like the 2-piece retaliation. You got 7% crit rate there. Got 4% crit rate there. So you could potentially mess around with this set. The nice thing with the lifesteal, obviously, is when you have a retaliation set, you come in here into a dungeon or something, you get hit, you retaliate, and then your lifesteal helps keep you alive. Mm-hmm. For arena, it doesn't do anything for you, really, right?
Yeah.
It's like very little. I mean, it'll do a little bit for you, but not that much.
It helps with the Wukongs, actually.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So you could be thinking about speed sets. Let's see. I don't know that we would get a lot more damage, but one of the nice things about where you are in terms of the pieces is you have all 4-star pieces. So if you can start to find 5-star pieces, you're going to get a lot more out of it, especially, not so much the helmet and the shield, but everything else. The weapon gives you more flat attack. If you get a glove with crit rate or crit damage, that's going to help. Chest piece with any percentage is going to help, and then more speed on the boots. So, but I want to take a look at maybe some of your sets here. Let's break this down.
She's also my biggest clan boss damager right now.
Gotcha. So, okay. So when the clan boss does an AoE, you get a chance to do some retaliation, and that's going to do. You have her masteried out, and you've got, yeah. So you've got Giant Slayer on her to get more procs. All right. All right. Let's take a look at your clan boss. Let's get out of here and take a look at your clan boss, because anything that we change in your arena is going to affect your clan boss team, right? Okay. So where are you? Hey, you're in Sun's. You're in Sun's clan.
Go Team Sun.
All right. I'm highly motivated to help you. I am highly motivated to make sure that you do as well in clan boss as humanly possible. Okay, so you've got a 6.85 million 1 key on normal, which is very nice. And this is the team you're running. This is a very solid team in terms of your damage, right? So
I sent you my last damage for hard.
Oh, okay. Let me take a look. Wait, where did you send it?
To the group chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the hard part was getting marked booked out.
All right, so you got 6.8 million on hard on a 1 key, which is a 2 key hard, so that's not bad, but you're shooting for brutal now. Okay.
I saved you the keys. I didn't want to spend it.
Yeah, we got a key here. That's great. All right, so let's take a look at this team and let's just talk about sort of the clan boss team purpose here, right? So right now, basically, if we look at these champions, let's look at the champions. So you've got Whisper, who is an absolute beast at clan boss, right? She just crushes clan boss. She has a weaken on her A1. She's got the increased attack for herself, increased crit rate. But it's this big one. Will ignore defense if the target is under a weakened debuff. So that's just straight up ignore 100% defense. And then she's got a decreased defense. She gets an extra turn if there's a decreased defense and weakened debuff. So she doesn't bring the decreased defense, I don't think, right? Right. So you need to bring
Correct.
that from somebody else.
I have 2.
Okay.
With Marked and Grave Chill.
Right. So that is, she is not level 60 yet, obviously, but she is a huge damage dealer. Now, out of all of the champions you have, the only one who could maybe compete with her is Frozen Banshee. Now, Frozen Banshee has the poisons on the A1. She needs the poison sensitivity up, which comes from her A3. And then you also have Grave Chill Killer, who works really well with Frozen Banshee because she has the decreased defense, and she also has the big poison if the target is under poison sensitivity. So if you put these two together, you get that poison sensitivity out there. It looks like you have Phantom Touch on both of them, which is extra damage. You've also got Phantom Touch on which, so you've got some nice souls here, some nice blessings. Your Marked has a 6-star blessing, which is very nice.
She's the last one to live.
Right. And so decrease accuracy, the block debuffs, increase defense. So, okay. So this is your one defensive based champion. Or like your one defense. So she's got the increased defense for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. And then everybody else is damage. So that's if I were just to look at this and say, where can you potentially get value? I would say you have good champions here. What you need to do is kind of decide who you want to be your damage dealers and then start moving some of the other champions out in favor of supports who help you do other things. So there are 2 things that you're missing right away. One is a speed aura. You don't have a speed aura. And 2 is some kind of speed boost. The more turns you get, the more damage you do. So if you ran up your High Katoon and put your High Katoon in here, potentially you would actually get more damage taking a damage dealer out and giving all the other damage dealers more speed. So that's potential. It's hard to say exactly how that would work, especially because High Katoon is not like the best clan boss champion out there, but you can run her very fast. So let's say you're running her, over 200 speed. Obviously, she's getting more and more turn meter out there, and that's also going to help you in arena to have a very fast speed lead. So that is a potential place we could get value out of one champion in the 2 most important places in the game. Now the question would be, which damage dealer do you pull out? So I think Whisper is your best damage dealer. I think she's probably long-term your best clan boss solution. But right now you've got Frozen Banshee and Grave Chill at 60, and they work really well together. So I would probably pull Whisper for now. That may even allow you to wait on a 6-star for her for a little while. You can also use Frozen Banshee and Grave Chill in dungeons, right? They work really well against things like Dragon Boss. They don't work super well against Spider, which is a little bit problematic, whereas Whisper works great against Spider. So there is that potential, thought process. The other thing you could think about is pulling Athel out. You would lose a weaken, which is, let's see, you get the weaken from Whisper, right?
Yeah, but I need to bump up her accuracy then.
Yeah. So this is your other weakened champion. But Athel could become your dedicated arena nuker, right? So that's an option too. So right now, we're looking at a situation where you have too many damage dealers. They're all good, but you don't have enough of a setup. Whereas like your arena team is really well tuned and it has everything you need. Your clan boss team isn't quite there yet. And that's okay. I mean, we don't always get champions that, are perfect for it. So you might be looking at your champions being like, hey, they gave me 3 great clan boss damage dealers. I'm going to use all of them because I don't have a better option.
I have more hidden away, by the way.
You have more what?
I have more in the vault.
Yeah, more in the vault. Okay, so we're going to take a look at your vault here. Okay, so right away, we got another Frozen Banshee. I'm jealous. my free-to-play account does not have these options. So this is pretty good. You have an Apothecary. Apothecary is also an interesting option for clan boss.
That's all my food for a 6-star.
Gotcha. Okay. And then if we look at this, these are all your champions. Okay. Marquez is kind of an interesting champion. She has this AoE weaken. It is the lesser weaken. She hits really hard. She also has a 100% chance to freeze one target, which is like kind of useful. But she's cheap to build. And then you have Deliana. Now, Deliana is also interesting because she gets the leech out there. And so having a leech on the clan boss can be really valuable in terms of healing, right? And keeping your team alive for longer.
Right.
She doesn't have much else for clan boss, really. She does have this strengthen. It's a conditional strengthen that might give you like an extra turn.
Yeah, I usually just turn everything off and leave the A1.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have another weaken over here. And a revive and a heal. I've never used Tashada for anything. Okay, so this is, you have a couple of options here. You do have a couple of options. You have an opportunity to turn somebody into 6-star. So the question is who? And I think right now, when we're looking at your clan boss team, it's moving slowly and you've got a lot of damage dealers. So if we were going to look long term, I think we would say Whisper right now seems like your best solution. You've already booked her out. So she's going to be great. You're working on her masteries. But the question is, do you need her as your next 6-star? And I think she's covering a lot of roles that you've already got covered. So you could go 2 different ways. One is you could pull, one of the other damage dealers, do in fact level up Whisper to 6 stars, put her in. You're going to get some more damage out of her. The team won't live any longer than it's currently living, right? But she'll hit harder than anybody else. And then work your way towards your High Katoon or your Apothecary for some extra speed. The nice thing about Apothecary is that he brings heals. So he does the same thing that High Katoon does, but he doesn't have the speed aura, but instead he has heals. He also has that triple hitter, which is really nice for Giant Slayer. They both play in a lot of places. You can use them in dungeons. You can use them in arena. You can use them in clan boss. So depending on...
One thing to remember, though, Cole, is he's doing a challenge account. It's the ladies only.
Oh.
Team Girl Squad.
Right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I was waiting to see if you got there.
Yeah, I forgot. Okay, so in that case, Apothecary's out. That's great. Then that simplifies things. I would say you want to bring up your High Katoon probably next. That's probably what I would do next, because there are a whole bunch of reasons to bring up your High Katoon. One is that's going to get you to your 6-star mastery, which is going to give you your War Master for Clan Boss. But additionally, it's going to unlock your banner. And so once you can get a banner with some speed, you actually have one here. That's perfect. That's perfect for Haikatun. Hopefully that rolls into speed. You can get her even faster. That's going to help you in Arena. It's going to help you in Clan Boss. And then don't worry so much about Athel as your Clan Boss damage dealer. I know right now she's currently doing your most damage, but that's because she's got your best gear and she's all the way masteried and leveled up. Whisper will out damage her. As the difficulty ramps up, poisons will become more valuable. Frozen Banshee will start to out damage her. The larger the health pool, the more valuable Frozen Banshee is. The primary thing here that you're worried about is the weaken on Clan Boss, and once you replace her with Whisper at some point, then you're going to have that replaced. Like you said, you'll have to get Whisper's accuracy up. But I would say, yeah, you're working in that direction. And then at some point, probably what you're going to do is you're going to pull Grave Chill.
Yeah.
Right? You'll have Whisper and Frozen Banshee. They work really well. And then you're going to have Marked for your increased defense. Hopefully you can get somebody who has either, like, you'll need some kind of sustain. Hopefully a leech or something, or somebody with shield, somebody with ally protect, somebody with strengthen, and that will extend your fight a little bit further. I wouldn't really worry too much about speed tuning at Brutal. I would actually, unless you can find a speed tune that works at Brutal, Nightmare, and Ultra Nightmare, and keeps the same champions, which doesn't seem likely. I would not worry too much about speed tuning at Brutal. Yeah.
It was more to get the stun off of Whisper from the Clan Boss.
Gotcha. Yeah, you can definitely tweak the speed tune. I don't mean like a general speed tune doesn't make sense. It absolutely does make sense. And if you're comfortable with a calculator, get in there and figure it out. But yeah, it looks like you have retaliation gear here. The lifesteal here. How do you find that lifesteal helps with Frozen Banshee?
She's my third last to die, so
she gets a little bit of sustain.
Yeah, so she'll probably get switched over once I have her masteries.
Yeah. HP.
Because I have plenty of perception for her.
Right. Yeah, you want to keep pushing that accuracy, keep pushing the defense. So if you had like a defense percentage glove, this is 6 stars. It's nice. It's got a lot of what you need. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any accuracy as a substat. This is a very nice piece, and even the Ascension there is giving you more accuracy. So this is really good. And obviously, as you move up, you can glyph with speed glyphs and stuff like that. But I would consider, this piece right here is a pretty nice piece for a direct damage dealer because of the crit rate and the crit damage. A little bit tanky. This is also really nice for a direct damage dealer with the crit rate. So the thing about Frozen Banshee, she's not getting a ton of value out of the crit rate and crit damage because she does the vast majority of her damage through the poisons. And here, this too, with crit rate. So these pieces are, anything with crit rate is worth considering taking off and putting on, say, Whisper. Right? Because she is going to hit like a tank.
Right.
And, so you want her at 100% crit rate. If you can get her, obviously there, you have some nice relentless pieces here. But, yeah.
I only need her at 70. Her A2 puts her up 30%.
Right, that's true too. But the thing I was going to say about this is, like, relentless on a damage dealer like Whisper can be really nice. But the question is, would lifesteal extend her long enough to make up for the 18% of extra turns that you get? So let's say you're going 10 turns. If you can get from 10 turns to, say, 12 turns with lifesteal, that might be just as valuable as the 12 attacks you're getting in 10 turns out of relentless. Do you know what I mean? Right. So it's hard to say. I really like relentless gear on anybody who has like a speed boost or a turn meter fill or an extra turn mechanic if you're not speed tuning. So like if this was a fast set, it's not that fast, but if this was a really fast set, you could like put this on a Haikatun or a Seeker or something like that. Seeker is not a girl, but any champion who does that, and you could use that. Now, obviously, Haikatun if you're speed tuning, or you can't have a relentless set on her. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure about this set. They're good pieces, which makes sense. You've got a 6-star weapon with attack percentage and speed, so I understand why you put them on, and it's not a bad choice. But the question is, what do you need on your team, and how are you going to get damage from it? So I think a longer lifespan might be more valuable. Yeah. All right, I don't know that I want to pull apart any of your champions right now. I do want to think about Haikatun. So you didn't increase her speed because she's already too fast, right?
Yeah, I don't want to make her too fast because then everyone else have to get faster.
Everybody else disconnects. But the only one that's actually at risk of being disconnected is Athel, because everybody else is faster. So here you're at 187, and Haikatun's only at 191. So you don't have to worry about disconnecting War Maiden. And I don't think you have to worry about this. She's at 190 or 188, 187. So if we can find speed for Athel, then you can potentially speed up Haikatun, and that's going to improve your chances in Gold 1. Because as long as you can go first, you're going to get more chances to win. Now the question is, do you have any other increase attack champion? I don't think you do.
Not 50%, no.
Oops.
I don't think.
Italia's just a harder. She places increased attack on herself, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and crit.
Right. Increase crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. Increase attack on all allies for 2 turns if this attack is critical. I've never used Lady Quillen, but that is the other increase attack. And since the best option would be an increase attack that gives you turn meter, but I don't know who does that. Like, I can't think of anybody who does that off the top of my head that is female. Who isn't like Arbiter.
Right.
So
yeah, just get Arbiter, you'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. Maybe on Friday.
Yeah.
So this is a very nice buff here. Increases crit damage on all allies for 2 turns. Also places increased attack, but it has to be a critical hit. So you'd have to run her with 100% crit rate. And then you'd have to run her fast enough. And you would lose the cleanse.
Well, if it goes that long, I usually lose anyways.
Right. So you could potentially replace Spirit Host with Lady Quillen. The nice thing about Lady Quillen in this particular setup is that she hits decently hard. You've also got this ability. I mean, the downside is, you have to ascend and potentially book out an epic who's not a phenomenal epic. You wouldn't necessarily have to book her for Arena. For Arena, you could literally not put any masteries, just ascend her, and then run her at that speed and see if it works for you. Because it'll increase Athel's damage by 30%.
Right.
It's just that increased crit damage, in case anybody doesn't know this. This is literally the last multiplier that just gets attached. So as long as you hit with a crit, your damage is just increased by 30%. So it doesn't it's not additive, it's multiplicative.
Right.
So that's really nice. That's a lot of extra damage. So I would consider bringing her into the squad, but we still have to think about speed for Athel. You do have a potential for a glyph there. And then we were talking about maybe bringing in a speed set instead of your. So let's do that. Let's take a look at that. Let's just see if we can't get Athel a bit more speed, and then we can potentially push Haikatun even faster, and that would increase your. This is a very nice piece. That's pretty fast, but that's going to be good on Athel as a 5-star piece. potentially if you put Whisper in Lifesteal, that could also be really nice for Whisper. So let's go ahead and try that on. Yeah, where's the speed set? Accuracy. Okay, let's try that. And let's look here. Actually, let's look at boots. Nice. Who would work best in this boot? Do you have any 5-star speed boots?
They're all on people.
They're all on people.
Yeah, check equipped. I might have them floating around.
This is a beautiful piece. This would go great on a debuffer. This could be awesome on Frozen Banshee.
Yeah.
That could be a really nice
She's
piece.
actually in Perception, I think.
Does she have a 5-star Perception boot or 4-star?
I think it's 5.
Okay. Well, she's not equipped with it. She's in Lifesteal.
Oh, that was less. Okay.
All right. So we've got this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So potentially, I mean, this is a slightly better piece for Athel as well because it's got 9% crit damage where this has 9% attack. And so you're probably going to get more value out of crit damage here for Athel on this. So you could make that swap to get her to hit a little bit harder. This boot is really nice, but this boot is actually also nice for High Katoon. You could even swap her into this boot because if you want to land her A1 slow or her turn meter reduction that she has on her A3, I think it is, you need accuracy on her. And then this is the speed that you have. That's a really nice piece as well. Man, you rolled a common boot that turned out to be really good. That was a nice roll.
It worked out.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I don't see too many ways to make speed out of anything except Perception boot, which is not
take
bad.
The boot off of Spirit Host.
Right. Right, but if we're trying to get speed on Athel, then that's a little tricky. So, but we could do this. We could do this. Try that on. And then, all right, let's look at the other pieces. So let's look at gloves next. Crit damage with crit. Man, that would increase your damage a lot. Do you mind if I roll these up?
Nope. I saved you silver.
All right, sweet. Now, either one could help us, but we really want the crit rate on these gloves. If we can get at least one roll in the crit rate, preferably 2. If not, okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And we're going to lose 31% crit. Now, there's a couple of things that you can think about with Athel. One is she gets an extra 15% chance to crit on her nuke. Right, so this actually has an extra 15% chance of inflicting a critical hit. So if you convert her to like a wave clear or an arena-based nuker, then you only need 85%. Right. So that could be a consideration. Now, obviously, she's your best all-around champion. You're probably still going to be using her in dungeons and stuff. If you're not having trouble with the waves in dungeons, then the 85% is probably enough. You know, you're going to lose a little bit of crit chance on the boss for the A1 and the A2, but it's not awful. I would prefer to have her at 100%. I always like to run them at 100% when I can. So let's go back to that glove. Fitting room. Let's try this on. And then let's see if we can't get... So we had those boots. Where were they? These boots, right? With a little bit of extra crit rate and crit damage. Just 1% extra crit rate, but every percent helps. And then I think we had a weapon that we had changed over. This one. Now, are we losing crit rate on that? 4. We're only gaining 1% crit rate, but we're gaining some speed. Okay, now let's look at the other 3 pieces. And we want to make sure we've got crit rate on all. I'm going to roll this one up too. Let's see what we hit. Got speed. That could be nice for somebody. Probably not here. Unless... Yeah, she's got 9% crit rate there. So she really needs crit rate. Nice. One more roll on the crit rate. Oh. Okay, one more roll on the crit rate. That's still a nice piece. Jeez. All right. Unfortunately, oh, here, let's try this one. Actually, this is a 4-star, right? That's a 4-star. This is the one thing I don't like about this particular fitting room is that you have to you have to look at the equipped and then go to the actual set in order to find the piece. You can't just click on it in the fitting room and pull it up. So you're looking at 7% here. I'd still rather use... I mean, that's a nice piece. That would get you an extra 3%. What did we have on this? 7%. That's a nice piece. That's a nice piece. It doesn't give us everything. It doesn't give us crit damage. But it gives us speed and crit rate, and it's still got a lot of rolls left. So we'd be losing a little crit damage, but we'd get the accuracy back on the set. So here's the thing that I'm thinking about for Arena. We want to nuke them out in one shot, right? Yep. So the speed and the crit rate and the crit damage, all of that is really important. So let's roll this up a little bit. Let's see what happens here. That's good. Let's get crit rate. Speed, more speed. Speed everywhere on this account right now. Holy cow. I mean, that's a lot of extra speed. Let's try that. And then that means we need this. I think we need this helmet. Come on, crit rate. Give me 5%. This would drop you to 80%. If we could get to that 85, that would be the number. Because you're picking up 30 speed here, which first of all is going to help you a ton in Clan Boss. You've also picked up 20 accuracy. That's going to land your weaken a little bit more. You know, the only downside right now is that we are too low on crit rate.
Do you want to check the jewelry? I got some.
There's no crit rate on jewelry.
Fair enough.
Yeah, unfortunately. So the only thing we could potentially do is if we could find, I mean, this is a very good chest plate. It's hard to replace, and you've got 12% crit rate there. And I'm not going to break that piece because it doesn't make sense to break lifesteal. Yeah, it looks like that's the best piece. So how would... I'm going to try one more time. Crit rate. Oh, such a good piece, though. That is such a great piece. That might be for somebody else. That might not be for Athel. I don't know. that's hard to say. So let's take off the perception pieces. And let's see if we can find something. I mean, this is a nice piece here, but then we would have to take this shield. We wouldn't have an option. And I don't think those two give us enough, right? We try this on. That's also 77%. We could use a crit rate set. It's actually not bad. We could use a crit rate set. So this gets us up to 90 without any rolls. We don't change your speed at all, but do we have any speed on either one of those? No, we don't. Do we have... We have a glyph there available. We have a glyph there available. So let's see what happens with if we roll this up. Accuracy is not bad on Athel, but we want crit rate. That gets you to 94. Crit damage or speed or accuracy? Accuracy. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit stuck here on this because like we can get your crit damage up, but we can't quite get your crit right there. We can get your speed up and your accuracy up, but then we lose damage. So it feels like with the pieces that we have available,
I need a necklace.
you definitely need a necklace for crit damage, absolutely, and you can get some accuracy out of that as well. And then the only other thing is if we looked at your, what is this at? So you can get more accuracy out of this running that up, which would help. And then potentially you could roll into attack percentage, which would get you a little bit more damage. But it feels like in order to improve at arena, what you need is you need her to be as good for the arena as possible. And whatever she gives you in Clan Boss is just gravy because you're going to be moving away from her in the near future, right? You've got that Whisper, you've got the Grave Chill, you've got the Frozen Banshee. So it's like all of those will deal good damage. I think the High Katoon is the play. Get her as fast as possible and then start working Athel towards a one-shot nuke in arena.
Got it.
That's what it feels like to me. But unfortunately, I think we're one piece short here. Now, do you have any divine sets?
No.
No.
I have a few, actually.
You've got some cruel, got some immortal, divine life, resilience. Yeah. So I don't see any like divine crit or divine speed or divine offense. Yeah, and I think those start coming at they might start dropping at brutal clan boss, so that would make sense that you don't have them yet. That's got 16% crit.
I actually took that off my Whisper.
This crit rate glove?
The helmet.
Yeah.
So I can get more speed in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. What happens if we just take this back off? Yeah, and then we don't need these pieces. Because we don't need the extra crit rate. So let's see what we can just do in terms of damage then. 176 speed. You lose a little bit of attack, but we haven't rolled them up yet. I don't know if you have. Do we have attack rolls? Just flat attack there. Crit damage. You lose accuracy. I like the ignore defense from that, but I mean, you can get so much more speed on her. Yeah, it's finding the crit rate. It's finding the crit rate. I mean, we can get the crit rate here. That's easy enough, but then we lose all that other stuff. What if we did that? No, because we switched back to the crit rate glove. I do think this weapon, bringing in this weapon, could be really valuable because it's going to give you some additional speed. So I like that. The question is, where do we swap? We haven't looked at. Maybe we look at some other boots. Let's see some other speed boots. I know we looked at those really briefly, but if we have anything that has crit rate. She doesn't need crit rate, but what are the boots that we already have? Yeah, they already have 12%. So, oh well. I'm a little bit stuck here. What do you think? What do you think is the best move here for us right now?
I think I got to go farming.
Yeah, I think you got to go farming too. The good news is if we get in the dungeons right now, there's a 3-time drop rate for speed. You've got 13. Is this on farm? Is this like auto farm or is this tricky?
Oh, is it farmable? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had an issue with that.
Okay. So I kind of want to see your champions work in a dungeon just to see who does the damage. So I do think getting Athel faster is going to help you everywhere. I mean, she's such a good dungeon boss killer because she brings that weaken. And you've got the triple hit for the potential Giant Slayer procs and stuff. So like you don't necessarily just want to build her for arena and get her out of your dungeon teams. But I think what's going to help her in arena is going to help her in dungeons as well.
Right.
Yeah, she's doing work here, but she's... How many days are you into your account?
32.
32. Okay. Obviously, you just got the high Katoon. So I would say, yeah, at this point, you've gotten away with your Athel running in the 160s because up until, the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you don't need her any faster. But that's why you're stalling out in arena, and that's probably why you're not making as much progression in like dungeons and clan boss and stuff. You need everybody to be faster. So get in here and farm speed gear, put that in with the best lifesteal set that you can get on Athel, and then tune everybody above her. Like, make your Haikatune as fast as humanly possible, and then make your Athel as fast as she can get. And then everybody needs to be tuned to those like bookends, right? Haikatune is your high bookend, Athel is your low bookend, and then you stick everybody else in between. Keeping Athel slower because you don't have enough gear to get the other people faster has helped you get to gold 1, but now it's stopped. It is no longer valuable there. It's like you can farm silver 4 for a month and you'll be fine because you don't need gold medals for a while, right? Yeah. So you can break up that speed tune a little bit. and just get her faster, get her faster, get her faster. And she still has some leeway. She can pick up 20 speed and not catch War Maiden, not catch, Spirit Host. So get her faster. You're going to get more damage out of every place in the game. And then, this team looks good. I mean, you've got a ton of damage, and it feels like the buffs that you get keep you rolling. You got the increased defense, and you've got the block debuffs buff up. So it's really nice. And Deliana does a lot of work, doesn't she?
Yeah, she helps with the leech a lot.
Yeah. And she also hits everybody. She's just like, she's tanky and she smacks.
Yeah, that's why I put the bolster on her to keep everyone else alive longer.
Yeah, that was a good call. That's a good call. So yeah, it looks like you're doing everything right, and it really does. I don't think there's any glaring weakness. I just think the two things that I would say that you want to work on for, let's say, the next 2 weeks is get your high Katoon probably to 60 and get her as fast as humanly possible, and then bring your Athel up as well. And like I said, that's going to help you everywhere. But then you can worry about speed tuning your arena team around that and your clan boss team down the line. And then at some point, you're going to want to transition that team to fewer damage dealers and more setup champions. That clan boss team, yeah. All right. Well, I'm sorry, man. I wish I could have done more for you, but I hope this was helpful.
Oh, it was. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else you want to ask me about before we move to our next contestant?
Oh, no, give someone else a shot.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, and good luck with the squad. And definitely let us know, next week or whenever you come back and watch a stream, let us know how you're progressing, what decisions you've made, because I'd like to hear how you're progressing with this. It looks like a fun challenge account. It really does.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right. I'm going to hand this back over. Ooh, 6-star speed boots with accuracy in the Avenging set. That's decent. I'll take that. All right. So, son, I think we have to make a play for our next takeover here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we've got quite a few people already putting in their names in the hats, but for all those that are interested, if you haven't yet, you can go ahead and join our Discord under the Wheel of Takeover channel. You can react to my message, and we'll probably pull another name pretty soon here, and hey, you got a chance to win.
Yeah. So make sure you're in the Discord. You got to do that. And then we'll do the wheel in just a minute. So let me hand over this account. I got to click all the red dots, even on everybody else's account. I can't help myself. There's another one. I won't take the reward if it's a reward. Oh, yes, I will. I'll take these rewards. Okay. All right. There we go. By the way, was my giant picture blocking all the visuals there? Do I need to shrink myself down a little bit when I take over somebody's thing?
No, I think you're all right.
Okay. So I've got this smaller one. I can go down here. I feel tiny when I do this. The funny thing is I'm watching myself on a very small screen, so I look tiny, but then when I watch the videos later, even this feels pretty big. Yeah. All right. So let's get into the Discord.
You're a little hobbit Colred.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm just giving people a little bit more time to enter in if they're interested.
In the Wheel of Takeover.
The Wheel of Takeovers.
So yeah, just to reiterate what we've said before, you don't have to come on the stream if you don't want to. You don't have to use your microphone if you don't want to. You can just chat with me in text. That's fine. If you have two-factor authentication already set up, that's okay. But don't set it up if you don't have it set up already, because we ran into that problem last week. And what happened is basically there's like an error where the two-factor authentication doesn't work for a couple of hours, and it locks you out of your account. So that's what happened with Team Girl Squad last week with Alex. So this week we were able to get him in here and do it. You are very welcome, Alex. I hope it helped. I didn't want to use up too many of your resources, but you're doing all the right things there. It looks like a very good account. So have fun with that and let us know how it comes along. Exile says, smash that like button, people. Please do. That's a tough challenge, all girls, says Kate of the Dead. I think you're being sarcastic, Kate. I think it will struggle doing that. Must be a member of Discord for 10 minutes to message. That's what Live Wild says.
Yep, I'm looking into that.
So does Francis. Oh, we got some likes there. Thank you very much. You know what? I'm going to like my own stream. There we go. Great Dana in the house. Adrian, Larry. Hi, Colred. Enjoying the videos. Thank you and welcome. Vic Nathan says, been here for a while now. Just chatting now. Well, welcome, Vic. Shock is here. Increased crit damage is addictive. Oh, is additive to your crit damage stat. You know what? I thought it was, Shock. I really thought it was. In fact, I made a video about it thinking it was. And then I watched a video where another content creator said it was multiplicative. And I was like, that's not right. It's additive. And I went and actually did the experiment. And it is multiplicative, which is crazy. And I think it's because it works like other... If you think of it as like the auras versus the in-fight buffs, I think that's how it applies, right? If you increase crit damage outside of the fight, then it's additive. If you do it inside the fight, it's multiplicative. The only thing that doesn't work for is the increased crit rate, right? The increased crit rate buff increases your crit rate by that percentage. It doesn't like multiply it. At least I don't think it does. That would be really interesting if it did. No, it couldn't, because then at 70%, you would only get to 91%, right? Which would fail. So, but yeah, I always thought it was additive too. See you, Kate. Have a fun family time.
Bye. Yeah, I think the 10-minute wait is a Discord thing.
It is a Discord thing. It is a thing we actually set up.
Is it?
We did originally set up our Discord with a thing where it's like, because it's an anti-bot measurement where like if a bot comes in and just starts trying to spam, you make them wait 10 minutes and then like the bot will, I don't know. It's an anti-bot thing. We can potentially change that. But you know what's going to happen is we're going to have another one after this one. So how many people do we have signed up right now?
At least 10. I believe.
Right. Well, why don't we fire it off? And then, people who are joining the Discord right now can try for the next one. We get another one. I was really hoping to find the piece that could make that all come together for Alex. I was really hoping to. I was like, it was so close. I almost pulled the trigger at we were at like 94% crit rate. I was like, that's almost, but I couldn't quite do it. Couldn't quite make myself do it.
All right, we'll go ahead and spin the wheel.
All right, I'm excited. Let's see what happens here. Shock actually signed up for a takeover? I'm a little surprised.
Shock is the winner.
And he's the winner. He's the winner. Uh-oh. Now, I know you've got a whole bunch of different accounts, Shock. So which one are we taking over today? Could be any account you want. It only specifies you. It could be any account you want. By the way, I think Jacques has one of the best names in our Discord community. Shock Bucker. We do enjoy that name. All right. Well, while we're waiting, I can make myself big again.
Yep, I've got you set up, Shock. You can join us in the voice channel and just DM Cole your info.
There we go. This is my main account in the background. I figure we may as well watch something. So here I am in my Iron Twins. I think this is the last one. Takes forever, this team, but it is a very good team. Kind of silly good champions on this team. Pythion, Valkyrie, Helicath, Wither, and Mithrala. It's like, you're never going to kill this team. Be funny if they died right now. They succeed like 99.8% of the time. This would be like 1 out of the 500 runs where they actually die. How would come in there, Shock? I'm not sure. Do you think it's Shock or Jacques? Jacques. How would you say that? You're from the same part of the world. How would you say that, Sam?
I sound more American than Dutch.
That's true.
Hey.
So I just have to DM Colred my info?
Yes.
Yes, let me do that.
Okay.
Boy from here. Yes. Got it.
I do like having Iron Twins on auto farm. It's kind of nice. Especially with no Geomancer on my team.
Oh man, if I pull Geomancer.
If you pull Geomancer in the new versus pro contest, I'm going to turn my account into a challenge account, and it's going to be all uncommons from here on out. I'm just going to roll up uncommons for the rest of the contest. Because why bother at that point?
Oh, that'd make my day. It'd make my year. Let's be real.
All right. Yeah, I mean, your account is like a runaway freight train, and my account is like one of those hand carts that guys used to push, on the railroad tracks. There's like one guy on each side pushing the cart along. Meanwhile, you're in like a fast train, like one of those bullet trains in Japan, just flying past me at 160 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I got pretty lucky. I know I told you this morning, like, dang it, man, another one. I got pretty lucky with my souls. I pulled my Arcanite first, then Fane. Then
It's Anchorite. You've got to get that
Anchorite.
right. It's Anchorite.
Yeah.
Now that I've messed it up so many times, I can't get it right.
But remember, we talked about it's the word.
It's anchor. I know.
Anchor, like the word anchor.
But Arcanite just flows out. It's just so much more satisfying.
That must be something from a game you used to play, like an Arcanite was a thing.
It must be something.
Yeah.
But then today, so yesterday I pulled Apothecary and Deacon, and today I pulled Kale Soul. Ooh, pulling further ahead.
Pulling further ahead. Shock, you all right? You getting the info?
I think I did. If you check the...
I have not gotten a DM. Let me
Have you checked Discord?
Oh, there we
Oh.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, I got it. It did not give me a notification for some reason.
Okay.
So let's get working. See if we can't get this going. So what do you want to work on today?
Well, I've mainly been focusing my faction wars.
Faction wars. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm not far away from getting Lydia.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm progressing.
Okay.
Also, you can take a look at that Poison Explosion team.
Oh, you have that on this team?
Oh,
On this
yeah, I
account?
have that on my account.
Who's your poison exploder?
Zavia.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I shared that video of the team. So
All right. Well, let's go
was in
ahead.
both Dragon Knights Golem.
Oh, you save all of your. You say, oh, that would drive me nuts to save all that silver. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at your Zavia then. I'm interested in this poison explosion team.
Yeah, it should be under recently used.
It should be under what?
Recently used.
Recently
On the
used.
filter.
There she is. Okay. Level 59. So I don't actually know her skills. So, okay. Poisons. Attacks all enemies 2 times each chance. Okay, so that's kind of like Elenarl. She has a similar skill. Oh, this is interesting. So it does direct damage in addition to a poison explosion.
Yeah.
Okay, and enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived. Is that also true for the poison explosion part of it? So if they're just killed by anything, they can't be revived.
Yeah, by that skill.
Yeah. Okay.
I was running Dragon for the event and
Mhm.
the speed. So give it a run and you can see it working.
This is the okay, stage 20?
25.
25? Okay. So you've done the same thing. Yeah, so you have Bad L here who is great. You've got Dark Kale who is also great. And then you've got the reset going. That's okay, so let's check it out. I'm going to be a little bit jealous, I'm sure. I don't have the don't quite have that team tuned yet. So get 4 poisons out there, 5, 6. Wow, okay. So that's just a ton of poisons. And then
Yeah, that's
nuke.
the idea.
Right. So yeah, you're getting a lot more poisons than I'm getting out there. So I need to get another AoE poisoner.
Also, don't forget that Dark Hail is extending those poisons.
Right, so you get extra stacks. I built Dark Hail, actually. I do have Dark Hail built at 6 stars, and he's fully masteried and all that. And I did that after my Poison Explosion video, because I was looking for another good AoE poisoner, so... but this looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the dragon will kill off the rest but Bad Al in a minute. So, and he will just stay alive for the boss.
Gotcha. And then Bad Al solos the rest of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have, so on my main alt, the one that I have like the most advanced, I have a Bad Alcazar. He was my first legendary I pulled on that account. He is just an amazing, ooh, speed boots with crit rate. Look at that. Nice. That's exciting. Shock, I'm excited for that pull. I don't know if you are, but I am. 6-star speed boots in the speed set. I feel like maybe I used my luck up there. Okay, so let's take a look at the faction wars. All right, so...
Yeah, there are only 5 factions left.
Okay, so Lizardmen, Skinwalkers. Let me write this down, because I'm going to forget this. Lizardmen, Skinwalkers, Ogren. Lizardmen, Skinwalkers, Ogren. Orc. Dwarf. Okay. All right. Is that all of them? That's all of them. So who do you have in your Lizardmen right now?
You can check.
Yeah.
It's open.
Yeah. All right. I mean, you know, you've already got a good team. I think that the only... I don't even know that I'd make the change. You need the AOX, right? Because the AOX is bringing your sustain here. Let's take a look at this. So your AOX is bringing the heals. decrease attack, decrease crit rate. Yeah, I mean, this is always tricky because if you don't have a reviver, getting 3 stars all the way out is pretty tough.
Yeah, you need to compensate in other areas if you don't have a reviver.
Right.
In some factions, I have managed to do so.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got your Venom Mage all built out, and so that's going to take care of all the damage you need for the bosses. Basically, you just need to keep everybody else alive. You've got the Ally Protect here and the increased defense on Jereg, the decrease attack. So this is not bad. It's not enough on its own, but that's a little bit of extra sustain. But this is a great champion for keeping you alive. You have your aura here, 24% in all battles, which is awesome. This is any other damage that you need for like wave clear and stuff like that. So you've got the right champions here. Razin is going to give you a little bit of the turn meter control, also the buff removal, which is nice. Once you book them out, that's going to be more reliable. The decreased defense and the weaken here at 100% chance, but you don't even necessarily need to bring him up to 60. You could leave him at 50 unbooked, and he's still going to provide you decent value because he's very tanky. You can even put him in a lifesteal set, or you could put him in a regen set and just have him survive forever. And so Aox is really the only pure support. And again, Aox is not super strong in terms of support. It's got the 1 max HP heal and the little bit of extra heals, but not bad. I really like Delaja. I think she's a phenomenal Faction Wars champion because she has this 50% chance of countering attack when any ally lizardman is attacked. So because you're in Faction Crypts, this champion will always get that chance, right? It'll always be 50% chance, especially if it's like an AoE or something. Then she's going to be counterattacking, and she can heal and poison. So she's good against the boys, good against the bosses, good against the waves. The decrease attack helps with survivability. A little bit of extra continuous heals and shield. So this is a little bit of extra survivability. So, potentially you could bring her in. I'm just wondering who you replace. It's like maybe you don't bring the Razin in and you bring her in instead. And then she and the Aox and Delaja become your supports, and you try to just stay alive and tank your way through everything. I mean, you're going to get the 15% damage mitigation from Venom Maid's heal reduction.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you've got the right champions, and I think the choice is, do you bring Delaja into this team to add a little bit more survivability? Or do you hope the turn meter control and like buff removal of Razin? And it may even be you bring up all 6, right? You bring up all 6 and then you swap whichever one you need in for the particular fight that you're in. If you could potentially at any point, I'm thinking about the other options that you have here, maybe in the rares. You get a revive here with Haruspex. Do you have a Haruspex? I didn't see it.
Might have one.
Yeah.
Or he might have been fed somewhere along the line. I don't know. Yeah, maybe Broadmoor could fuse him, but I haven't kept the rash for it.
Yeah. I mean, so Broadmaw is the only real use for Broadmaw is in Faction Crypts. So I do think Lizardman is a hard faction. And one of the reasons is they don't really have great, I don't think they have great epics. I think their epics are relatively weak. With the exception, I do think Delaja was a nice addition, and I think Venomage and Jereg are good.
So I got the good ones.
Yeah, you have the good ones. I mean, I think you're right. I think you could fuse Broadmaw, or if you don't have the champions for that and you can pick up a Haruspex, getting a Reviver is going to give you an opportunity to get those 3 stars. And then I don't think you need any other champions. If you have a Broodlord is also a decent option because he's got this ally protection, block debuffs, and a shield. He also has, all this other stuff. Like he has a stun here, an AoE stun. So he's a good defensive champion, and if you're going the tanky route, he could potentially be useful. I have mine at 5 stars, and I think I run him in the lead for the aura, and so he keeps me going. But I do have on my main account, I have Pytheon. So once I got Pytheon, everything was easy. So without
my main stunner is Fuxian. So
yeah. I mean, Fushan is such a good pull for this faction. So you definitely have all the damage you need. And Jareg was a great, Jareg and Venomage were great builds. So yeah, the question is, you're probably going to want a Reviver, Haruspex, or Broadmaw. Broadmaw might be the more easily accessible one because of the fusion. And then you might be fine with just that, in fact. Let's see. You have the 2 harder ones to get. All you have to do is collect the uncommons if you want it. Because you have her, you have him. So.
Yeah, the Void Rash are at higher than they need to be.
Yeah. We do have a 2 times Void Shard event coming up. Do you have any Void Shards? You do not. So yeah, if you could get a Haruspex, that's an option. Otherwise, I think if you're not going to go the Reviver route, you want to potentially bring that Delaja in to just give your team a little bit more sustain. And she's got great damage as well, so she might be in place of even Razin, maybe. I don't know. Let's look at some of the other factions. So the other factions that we're looking for are Skinwalkers. So let's look at your Skinwalkers. Oops, keep doing that. Oh, so here you're in very good shape. So this is just a matter of time. You already have everything you need, right? Because obviously you have Wukong, so that's not a problem. You have a Ragash. Those 2 by themselves will clear everything that you need to clear, and then you have Hofreeze as your Reviver. So this is just a matter of time. You can run them with Steel Skull, you can run them with Basher, you can run them with Taurus, you could run them with Cleopteryx, you could run them with Fane. You can literally put anybody in here with those 3 champions, and you're probably going to clear that just fine. Hofreeze has the 2 ally revive, so as long as he's tanky enough at 5 stars, as long as you can get the gear on him that keeps him alive, between Sun Wukong and his passive like revive, and then the strengthen and the speed boost and everything that you get from Ragash, you're going to be absolutely fine here.
One thing, I've got a 5-star Fane Soul sitting.
Okay, so yeah. So in my Lizard, I'm sorry, not in my Skinwalkers faction, I do have a 5-star Fane that I run, and she's got high accuracy and high speed, so she gets those debuffs out there on the boss. But I typically pull her against the waves, like on a non-boss level, just because she's really squishy, and so she can die. You might not have that problem because you've got so much damage here, and you've got the Basher lockout. Right, so you've got the A2 here. I don't know if you put somebody in a stun set, not that you want him in a stun set, you want him with accuracy. But yeah, you're probably totally fine. I wouldn't even worry about that. This is just a matter of investing the time and the energy into making sure that you have everybody built out the way you want them to. So I bet Sun Wukong even at 50 would do the job, because Ragash at 60 is insanely good. He's so good.
Yeah. He's built well because he's one of my main arena nukers.
Yeah. I would consider, obviously you want the pieces that you need, but consider potentially pulling this broken set at some point when you get the other pieces, and put either a perception set on him so he can land his decreased defense, right? Because he has this chance to land decreased defense.
Have you checked his accuracy, Colred?
Oh, you're right. His accuracy is pretty good. So that accuracy is probably good enough for... I don't know if it's good enough for the stage 21 of faction crypts.
It is.
It's probably about 250, right? You need about 250 for stage 21. So you're probably good there. In arena, you could potentially use more, right? Because you're going to be able to decrease defense on all the nukers, but you'd have trouble with a tanky team. But yeah, you're right. You're in pretty good place there with. I mean, he's so good. He is so good. So yeah, I think this faction is just fine. Let's take a look at Ogren. All right, you've got some good Ogrens here. You got Skrank. Wow, you got a lot of good Ogrens here. Okay. So this is somebody I actually don't know that much about because I've never pulled a drop goal before. Stun on the A1, increase attack and increase defense on all allies for 2 turns, and a block damage on allies with less than 30% HP. Places a shield for all allies for 3 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. That's nice. And the passive effect heals each ally by 15% whenever a shield buff placed by this shield expires, is removed, or is broken. Allies whose shield buffs are broken will also counterattack. The heal occurs instantly before any remaining damage from the shield breaking attack is taken. This guy is nice. This guy is very nice.
You only need regular dungeon accuracy for faction wars.
Yeah. Right. It's the same as the dungeons. So stage 20. So stage 21 would be just over 250. 255 would be what you need.
That's lower.
No, it's 12 per dungeon, isn't it? 12 per
You
dungeon
can,
stage.
It's more about like 10.
People say 10, but I think they do that because they're rounding it. I'm not
You can
100%
check,
sure that, but I
You can
think
check the rate status too.
yeah, we could do that. Let's go ahead and do that right now, just to make sure. But I know that Hell Hades often says 10, but I'm not 100% sure that it's 10. Let's see, dungeon, choose an encounter. Well, let's just choose Dragon Lair stage. So accuracy is, it says here 225 for stage 21. So it's about 11 that they're calling it. They're calling it 11. Okay, so this guy's awesome. Occult Brawler, good for bosses.
I've got him in a sort of got Occult Brawler sort of meme build. I was stuck on the annoying Sophia wave.
Gotcha. I mean,
and he can hit hard on his A2.
You've got your damage sorted, right? Like you're not going to have a problem with damage here. And if you want more damage, you can always bring in Skrank, right? You could also bring in Skull Crusher and get the counterattack that's more defense and more offense. So, and you also have Bellower as a great option as a debuffer. So if you wanted to use, the decreased speed, if you wanted to put him in a stun set, you have him in a stun set. So all good there. So this guy can really help you control the waves. But it looks like you probably won't need a reviver for this team, because between Drawgol and Grush, you're just going to survive forever. And then with Ignatius, you've got basically all the damage you need. This is your debuffer, and this is your boss killer. And if you'd rather, you can bring in Shamrock. He's a very good champion as well. I don't like Gerptug personally. I think he's just tricky to use. But if you like him, he is fun to mess around with. Gerda is okay. She's got this AoE weaken. So she's not bad, but you don't need her, I don't think. So I think, what was your plan in this before coming on today? Were you going to build out Drawgol and then just run with the 5 you've got here?
I think I was going to just build up some more for survivability.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Skrank's got such a good kit, right? So really does okay with the AoE, right? Because it has the AoE HP burn. And so that's nice and can help you clear the waves pretty fast. But I don't think wave clear is going to be your problem. I mean, you've got Ignatius. You've got Bellower, so you've got AoE stuff that you need. Yeah, I think you're on the right track. Potentially, yeah, I don't even think you need a Reviver on this squad. I think if you needed any more defense, you would just go with Skull Crusher, and you probably don't because you're running Bellower in a stun set, so I think you've got what you need here too. So again, I think this is a matter of time, and you just keep pushing the champions that you have. Yeah, I mean, even Shatterbones is a decent option. So what I like to do often when it comes to faction crypts, and this is just my personal approach to it, is I look for champions that are valuable outside of faction crypts, and then I look at my faction crypts team and I see what I've got. So like outside of faction crypts, you've got some valuable champions here, but I think, Skrank could be like a great Hydra clan boss damage dealer, or even a great clan boss damage dealer if you were looking for that as a solution. You've got your AoE HP burns if you're looking for help with Spider. So like if this guy's going to help you somewhere else, you might build him anyway. So rather than wasting time building somebody else in this faction, because you've got what you really need covered. Let's say you build Skrank to 6 stars anyway. Now you put him in your faction crypts and you didn't have to build somebody out specifically for faction wars. So you've got Druckle at 6, you've got 4 6s. So if you built Skrank to 6 and you used him elsewhere, then he would be your 5th. And those 5 at level 60 should cruise through this faction. They should not have any trouble with it. But let's say you were going to make Bellower your campaign farmer. Then you'd have that option there as well. If you weren't going to build Skrank, if you wanted to build a counterattack team, you could go with Skull Crusher. So you have so many options here, but I wouldn't just level up anybody for faction crypts at this point because you have all your bases covered.
A lot of the other teams in the game are done, so I don't know if I'd really build them for anywhere else.
Do you have all 3 Hydra teams locked in?
No, we're not even on Brutal yet.
Yeah, so then, like I said, Skrank could be that damage dealer for Hydra clan boss. Even if you don't use him anywhere else, he could be a perfect clan boss damage dealer, and therefore you have your wave clear right here. You could even build him for faction wars before you get that entire team together for Hydra, And the other thing is, like, if you have let's say you have a strong hard, Hydra team and you're not on brutal yet, you could say, okay, maybe that team is a little bit stronger. I want to tweak them, move them up to brutal. And now I need to replace somebody as my hard level Hydra damage dealer. And then Skrank can come in and do that job. So when I'm free to play, I always want to say, and I'm always free to play, but as free to play, I'm always looking for multiple places to get value. Even when I'm just like, when I was trying to go for my Lydia, I was still looking for champions that could help me in other places. So the last 4 or 5 champions I built for faction crypts also helped me in Doom Tower, or they helped me in Hydra, or they helped me in Iron Twins, or they did something else. So, you have a lot of great options here, but look at what you need in your roster and then make the choice about, where you want to go from there. Let's look at orcs. I mean, I don't think I'm doing anything here in terms of just, making any kind of moves because you've got all the things that you need in place. I know you're a very experienced player, Shock. So part of the fun of a takeover is just coming on and showing off your account a little bit. But yeah, we're in the same situation here, right? You've got your Artak, you've got your Duke the Pierced. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, Duke the Pierced is like the best epic in the faction. He is phenomenal. He is such a good champion.
Stag Knight in disguise.
He's a better Stag Knight. The only thing that Stag Knight has that's better than Duke the Pierced is his A1 has a slow on it, right? But Duke has a decreased accuracy, which, by the way, is huge against Bommel. I just did a Bommel video. If you can drop a decreased accuracy on Bommel, all of a sudden that makes your resistance like manageable for your team, because Bommel's accuracy is like 750 or 800. So you need to cut that in half in order to get your resist where it needs to be. But
with Bommel, I'm on hard, so
yeah,
I'm past normal,
right? But I'm saying for hard, I'm saying for floor 90 of hard, you having a decreased accuracy on that floor can be really useful. Now, if you're one-shotting him, it doesn't matter. But if you're not one-shotting him, then and you don't have Lady Annabelle, having a decreased accuracy is like the third best option. So decreased attack, decreased defense on the same hit. It has to be a critical hit. He has a provoke. Now, this provoke is a weird provoke. It does play in Hydra Clan Boss decently well. It's a provoke for 1 turn on the target enemy, and then it has a 75% chance of placing 2 more provokes on random enemies. So it's a little bit strange, but your main provoke is not guaranteed. It has to be, you have to have the accuracy for it, but it's a place. It's not a hit, so it can't weak hit. So that's why it's so nice even against like negative affinities. It doesn't matter if he's negative affinity, as long as he has the accuracy, it won't weak hit. So that's really strong. So you've got Duke and you've got Artak. You've got Sandlash Survivor, who's going to give you the increase of all ally buffs, which is nice. The ally protection. You know, you got another provoke there. Vrask can keep you moving. He can keep you alive. Robar is a champion I haven't actually ever pulled, but I know that he's strong. 100% decreased defense. Another second AoE. Yeah. Are you running up 2-Hawk? Like, is your plan to run him up to 6 stars?
Yeah, 2-Hawk is very good.
Yeah, he's got the 100% decreased speed and increased speed on himself, which is nice. And then the turn meter steal.
Also have a 2-turn stun. Not many
Right.
champions in the game have that.
Yeah, whoops, that was weird. Yeah, this is a 2-turn stun. Yeah. Yeah. So I think here, you know, you probably, I mean, the one thing that you're lacking, if you're lacking anything, is just a little bit of sustain, right? So it's like Vrask is your best sustain champion here, because he heals all allies by 10% of this champion's max HP whenever he inflicts a critical hit. So every A1, every A2, as long as you're 100% crit rate and you're not weak hitting, you're going to get heals for your entire team.
Yeah, you'll want to only use his A1, right?
Yeah, generally, that's what I use. But I would consider running up Jorg. I would actually consider running up Jorg and leaving Vrask on the sideline. Or potentially bringing Vrask and leaving like 2-Hawk or Robar on the sideline or something like that. Because this champion is low-key one of like my favorite epics. He's one of the best in the faction. He's got an HP burn at a 40% chance on his A1, which is solid for bosses. He's got an increased attack buff and turn meter increase on his A2 on a 3-turn cooldown, which is fantastic. You need, that increased attack here is not necessarily going to play with a mostly defensive and HP based team, but it plays, in 3v3 arena if you need it. Plus the turn meter fill helps regardless of where you are. And then he's got the 2 random ally revive, with the 60% HP, the 40% turn meter, and the perfect veil on them for 2 turns. It is on a 5-turn cooldown, but hopefully you won't need it more than once. And he's got decent enough stats to keep alive. So anytime I'm looking at faction crypts, I'm looking for a reviver. This is the best epic reviver in the faction. So you could potentially run him up and you would be all set you would 3-star all the way out, I think, with what you've got. With Duke, Sandlash Survivor, Artak, Old Hermit Jorg, and any 5th you want, maybe Vrask, maybe 2-Hawk, maybe Robar, then you're fine. But I would definitely consider running him up, because if you don't have a reviver, there's a chance you get to those bosses, somebody drops it. And it's like you have to build tankier and tankier and tankier. You have to have better and better gear to get through without the reviver. You just bring Jorg in there and it's like 3 stars. I run mine at 50. You don't have to run them at 60.
Let me check. Orcs 21, and it's the Mirrorer.
You're saying the boss? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so is that the one with the AoE stun?
I don't check.
Yeah, so potentially you'll need him in high resist if that's the case. Because you have to have your reviver, or if you don't have a cleanser or a block debuffs buff, then you need your reviver or your healer to have, or both to have high resist. Okay, and then let's look at the final faction here, which is dwarves. Now, this was the one that was in the worst shape, I think. Huh. You've got a Crizia, and you've got Geomancer. Oh, that ain't right, Chuck. That ain't right.
It's still struggling as of now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got those two sorted because obviously you're going to use them everywhere. Cornelia is really an interesting champion. I've never been able to use her to great effect, but I've seen videos on her where she can be very powerful, even as a solo champion. But she does give you that aura, that speed aura, which is nice. So obviously you have her at 50, you're going to bring her in.
She has been nerfed with Frenzy.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, you have Samar here who is okay, right? He's got this AoE. He's got a couple of interesting kind of, here it is. Is this it? Places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn at the start of each round. Blocks incoming damage and places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn when they receive a hit that would drop their HP below 30%. So he's like hard to kill off.
Yeah, but it doesn't really help the team out. So
not a ton,
not
no.
to use him.
I mean, I like Melga, and she is your, reviver here, revives 2 random allies. So she actually has a shield and a continuous heal. She also has a chance of removing, this is a little bit weird, this chance of removing a random debuff from a random ally. But again, she can actually be that champion where if you build her with high resist, she can get her A1 off and potentially like de-stun somebody. It's a kind of a cleanse almost, or take a fear off of somebody. But generally, you're going to have her there for tankiness, survivability, and revives. So I think she's an absolute build. Like, you definitely want her for faction crypts. And then I think you've got 3 other options here. You've got Firegun Isbel, who's obviously a great damage dealer. She could be really fun to mess around with. She's going to bring you the weaken. She's going to help you clear the waves, bring the bombs, kill the bosses. She's just fun. She even gets a revive on death, which is nice. Okay. You've got Gala Longbraids, who's actually a really good damage dealer. Ignores 50% of the target's defense when attacking under a shield buff. Heals this champion by 50%.
Army of Gala.
Yeah, you've got a lot of copies of her, so you can book her out really easily.
Well, mainly faction guardians are they're currently in.
True, you could do that too. So I think those are 2 options, and maybe your last option here is Bulwark, who's sort of a nice all-around tank. He's got that weaken on the A1. He's got the 100% chance of placing an HP burn when he's hit. I'm sorry, when he hits, but then he has a chance of extending the duration of all debuffs when he's hit. So, he's easy to build. He's void affinity. He gives you a defense and all aura if you need it. But I think right now, the next champion to build, if you're looking specifically for faction crypts, is just take Melga up to 50. I don't think you need her at 60. Just get her up to 50 with high resist and, decent speed and decent tankiness. And, I mean, you've got your damage sorted, right? Acrizia and Geomancer are fine. I don't know what's going to happen with Cornelia. Honestly, I don't know what to tell you about this champion in terms of faction crypts. The one thing I like about her is the speed aura. But once you got Melga built, then you have to make a decision. It seems like you've got Firegun at 5 stars already, so she'll probably come in. And then the question is that enough? Are these 5 champions enough? They might be. They might be enough. In fact, Firegun at 50, Steel Girdle at 50, and Cornelia at 50 with these 2 might be enough. You might not even need to 6-star another champion. I assume if you build Firegun Isbel, you're going to 6-star her at some point, and that's just going to give you more damage options. But if you get stuck, potentially think about replacing Cornelia with somebody. It's too bad. Like the champion that would fit in here perfectly, almost perfectly, would be Runekeeper Dazdirk. if you pulled a Runekeeper Dazdurk in again, you don't have any void shards, unfortunately.
I believe I have had him at one point.
But you fed him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy, the reason he would be so good is because he gives you this cleanse and the continuous heals. So that's really nice. And then you also have the increased attack for all allies and turn meter increase. Now, this isn't terribly important for your team. It would help Firegun Isbel with the bombs. It'd make her bombs hit harder. But everybody else is basically, doing damage through something else for the most part. Whether it's Geomancer's Reflect or Acrisia's max HP or whatever. Now, if she's not using her max HP, if she's not hitting with the max HP because of the passive, then this would help because she is attack-based, I believe. But he's also really tanky. He's really easy to build, super survivable. So you can just focus on resistance on him, and then you have a cleanser and high resist, and then you don't have to worry about any boss in the entire run, because who cares what the debuffs are, because he's going to cleanse them. And his speed is nice, so that turn meter fill comes around frequently. He's such a good champion. To anybody out there, if you ever pull a Runekeeper Dazdurk, seriously consider building him out. He's great for arena. He's great for, you can use him against clan boss. He has a leech on his A1. You can use him in any dungeon content. You can use him in Doom Tower. I use this guy everywhere. He's perfect for secret rooms. This is one of my sleeper champions. I also love the fact that he's a Runekeeper, because I used to play Lord of the Rings online, and the dwarves were one of the factions that could play Runekeepers, and he looks exactly like a Runekeeper from Lord of the Rings online. I mean, they built him exactly the same way, right down to the scroll on his back and everything. Like, this guy is a he looks like a dwarf from J.R.R. Tolkien's world. So I dig this guy a lot. But yeah, I think for what you've got right now, you're probably in pretty good shape. But I would definitely build out that Melga, because I think she's going to help get you over the top.
Yeah, I want to quickly write down the champions I need to build.
Okay.
Out of the factions.
Sure. So let's run them down real quick. So let's look at. So Lizardman, we were talking about building out Delaja, right? That she could potentially give you a little bit of extra survivability. The other option here is to go for Broadmaw, to fuse Broadmaw. So I think those are your two best options here in terms of, getting your 3 stars all the way down. But everybody else that you've got built already is good. When we go to, which one were we looking at? Skinwalkers. When we were looking at Skinwalkers, I think we said you're fine. You don't have to do anything with anybody. Just finish building out Hofaries and Sun Wukong, and you're probably all set. And you could literally swap in anybody you want. If you wanted to build out Fane, you could, but I don't think you need to. I think you bring in, Basher, Ragash, Sun Wukong, Hofaries, and any 5th you want, and you're fine. In the next faction, that was Ogren. Yeah, I think you're in really good shape here. We did say you had a couple of options. I think the 3 options you want to look at building are Skull Crusher for counterattacks, Skrank for a Hydra damage dealer if you need it, and Bellower if you want a debuffer here. But I think that you could also not build anybody. I think your Drakgul, Occult Brawler, Grush, and Ignatius are all perfect. And you could even just bring in Shamrock if you wanted and try that. But I do think that these 3 champions are all worth building for different reasons. So Skull Crusher, Skrank, and Bellower. And that would just be whatever you decided to do with the account. I really like Bellower for the stun set you already have him in. And he's a great campaign farmer if you need one. So,
yeah, sorry. I already have a 6-star Awakened Fellhound.
So you're good. Yeah. And then, all right, so let's look at Orcs. Yeah, I think we said Old Hermit Jorg would be my build here. He would absolutely be my build here. This is the one I think I feel the most strongly about, because you don't have a reviver here. He's going to give you turn meter fill. He's going to give you a revive. He's even, going to help you a little bit with the HP burns. Artak can obviously extend those or blow them up. And then I think you're fine here. You can run them with Vrask, Duke, Sandlash, and Artak. That's probably enough. Or you could even swap in Tuhok the Wanderer if you wanted to, and take Vrask out, and you'd probably be fine there. I mean, the nice thing about Vrask is he gives you sustain that Old Hermit Jorg doesn't. He's not a healer. He's only a reviver. So if you wanted some heals, I would just keep Vrask in at 5 stars, and that's probably enough. And then the final one was the dwarves. We just talked about the dwarves. And I do think that the build is Melga. Like, Melga's next. And then after that, you have a choice. You know, it looks like you're building Firegun Isbel. So stick with Firegun Isbel, build Melga out to at least 5 stars, get her to 50. And then you've got 5 champions at 50 or higher, 50 or 60, and see how that works. And if you happen to find a Runekeeper Dazdurk somewhere along the line, you know, seriously consider building him out. I'm buying mystery shards for you. All right, so how does that feel, Shock? Feel good? We in a good spot there?
Yes. Let me quickly save those.
Yeah, the place you're going to make the fastest gains is in the Dwarf Crypt. As soon as you get your Melga to 5 stars and get her built out, because the 4 champions that you have already built at that point will be enough. Cornelia, Geomancer, Acrisia, and Melga. Like, it almost won't matter what the 5th champion is at that point. You'll probably get up to like 55 stars really fast, 53 stars. And then in order to close it out, you might have to build out another, you know, wave clearer, damage dealer, or support champion.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you've still got 5 hours left on Lizardman, so maybe you can make some gains today.
Yeah, but I'm gonna need to finish that running that dragon.
That's true. For the speed, yeah. Got to farm the speed gear. All right.
Maybe roll up that one boot you got me.
Oh yeah, dude. We got you. Let's see.
Yeah, speed boot.
Is it this one or this one? It was this one, right? With the crit rate. Is that what the one it was?
A bit delayed.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. All right. Well, hey.
Yeah, the epic one.
Good luck with the faction crypts. Let us know. Come back next week and let me know who you've built out so we can kind of see and keep updated on how the faction crypts are progressing.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
All right. Thanks, Shock. Hey, son.
Subscribe to my YouTube.
Hey. hey. Shout outs. All right. No, thanks, Shock, for coming on. By the way, and this is something that I should say, if anybody has a reason to want to advertise anything in my Discord, we can put up a section for that so people can shout out whether they have YouTube channels or Instagram accounts or something like that. But yeah, that should be confined to those special areas because we try to make a space for it if we can.
By the way, can you quickly run my Spider 25 team? Won't take long.
What's
Fast
that?
time 19 seconds.
The spider?
Fastest almost 19 seconds.
20 or 25?
25.
This is your speed run here? Hey son, let's start getting people into the Discord for the next one too. I think we got time for one more.
Yep. Already got it all set.
Okay, great. "25 seconds this time, but the best is 19 and 14 turns, so that is very fast. Your time is faster than my best on my main. On this account, your time is better than my fastest. My fastest is I think it's like 29 seconds or something like that. But in terms of turns, I have the turns down to I want to say 9 at this point, and I have a team that I can build that I think is going to take it down to 5. So it's interesting because you have these tournaments, right, which are based around turns, and then the speed doesn't matter. You know, so when you're farming and you just want gear or you want to run like a spider tournament, the time is what you care about. You don't care about turns, you care about time. But when you're running that particular tournament, you care about turns, which is sort of, so you need like a team for time, and then you need a team for turns. It's a lot of T's in there.
Fast animations in this team, and Artak was big.
Yeah.
My first HP burn explosion, and he's not even fully booked.
Artak's a great champion. He's really powerful. I mean, I haven't booked out, but I still have to like optimize him for other things, because right now I'm running him in a stun set for Doom Tower, and he does great in Doom Tower, but there's so many places I could use him like more effectively. And so my spider team, like I said, I think is at 9 turns, and it's like almost 30 seconds, and he's on that team. But I think I could get more damage out of him. Or I could get him set up better if I put him in a different set. So we'll see. He can also solo, right? You can put him in a regen set, and then he can solo stuff. So
yeah, my regen isn't too good. I mean, my battle wasn't just stats.
Yeah. All right, Shock. Well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for letting me take over your account. I don't think again, this is another takeover, but I'm glad that we were able to get some ideas for you for faction crypts. And definitely let us know, how that turns out in the future.
Yeah, I wrote them down.
Great. All right. So, Son, how are we doing? How many people do we have for the next one?
We've got close to 20.
Great. Shock, I'm going to move you up to the other room there.
Do I need a nude? Really? I've got a crazy man.
All right.
Bye.
We'll talk to you later, Shock. All right. I'm sorry, Son. Who do we have?
No, I was saying we got close to 20 people, so we'll go ahead and shoot for another one.
All right. Let's get that. I love this wheel of takeover. It cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be our last one for today.
Let's see if it's rigged or not. Shock wins again. We'll know.
Good luck, all says
right.
Liv.
The wheel has been spun, and Marius is the winner.
Hey, Noah. How you doing? Who is the winner? Marius. I see. Okay. That's weird because I see Granite Rock. Okay, there we go. Marius. So who is Marius? Who in YouTube chat, the YouTube live chat, is Marius? We got another hour. No, or we got another 45 minutes. Is Marius here? If Marius is not here, we will have to pull again. Cass Wolf, welcome. Steve, 11B, welcome back. Bryce, good to see you.
Yep, we'll give Marius just another few moments here, but I don't see him online on the Discord, so.
Florentin,
You are still here?
Shipwar, welcome. Fang Slice, welcome. That's a clanmate of mine. Tomas is back, welcome. Just trying to say hello to people. George Barrow, welcome. Kieran Kiston, welcome. Jason, welcome. Neil, welcome. Cozy Cody, welcome. Gioti's back, welcome. I think I got most people. If I missed you, I'm sorry. But it's good to see all these names returning. Good to see some new names in the mix as well. That's always exciting. So I'm not hearing from Marius here, or Marius.
Yep. We'll do another one.
So I think we're going to pull again. Adrian, Larry. No, not everyone is from the USA. We've got a lot of people from a lot of places. Our very first Noob versus Pro stream, I think we found like 15 countries. Francis is saying that his name was not on the wheel. Did you react?
Yeah, they reacted. I think it might just be that for clarity, there's only a certain number
that fit on the wheel.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's Jyoti.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Congrats. One of our longtime viewers getting a free takeover. All right. Let's get Jyoti in here. And we'll get working. Let's see. Now, my account. Where's my account? What do I need to be doing here? Do I need to be doing clan boss or something? No, I'm okay on that. Let's do some faction wars. No. Oh, here we go. Shadow King grip. This is my Shadow King team. I just recently pulled Lady Kimmy, so she is now on my team. Before that, I actually had I had this guy, I forget his name, Garriman, something like that. But now I've got this. By the way, if you are struggling in Shadowkin faction crypts, get yourself a Kinagashi. Get yourself this champion. I never hear anybody talk about her. I made a video. I included her in the video. She is a really good, underrated champion. Where is she? Not Void. I want a Neb. There we go. There she is. Kinagashi. Okay. So this is one of the most underrated champions I've seen, at least in the Shadowkin faction, but in a long time. I never hear anybody talk about this champion. So she's the only guaranteed reviver in the faction who's not a legendary. So she revives a single target ally. So that means you've got your one revive, right? It's a decent revive, 50% HP, 50% turn meter, 60% increased defense on a 4-turn cooldown. Not bad, not phenomenal, but not bad, right? And then she's an ally attack with a single ally. Also fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%. So she increases everybody's turn meter. Plus she has an ally attack. And then she has a 2-hitter on her A1 that has a chance of decreasing turn meter up to 2 times. Now it's only 10%, but remember that she also uses that when she uses her ally attack. So she uses this, then she uses her ally attack, and then she uses this, then she uses her ally attack. So it's just like, and this ally attack is on a 3-turn cooldown. So she's great for Fire Knight. You bring somebody else in there, you're going to get at least a triple attack, if not a quad attack from her ally attack. You've got turn meter decrease. You've got your, ally revive. So, hello? So you've got a lot of options here for her. She's useful in a lot of places. She's actually a really, really good champion. And you only need her at 5-star for faction crypts. So let's go ahead and run that. She does a great job. Okay, I got it. Gotcha. Yeah. All right, so let's get him. Let's get the account running. All right, and what are we working on today? Arbiter missions. Okay, let's take a look at Arbiter missions. Yeah, Arbiter missions are fun. We're looking at a level 56 account. How many days in? We are almost on day 100. So that's a good bit of time here. You're going to get another Void Shard. Got some Void Shards for the event? Well, you're going to have 1 Void Shard for the 2 times event. I got to click your red dots. Sorry. Have to. Anybody who gets taken over, they should know I'm clearing your red dots. Altar of Souls. I got to look at your souls. Okay. All right, so let's look at the Arbiter missions. Upgrade an affinity bonus to level 7. Get out of the way here. Upgrade an affinity bonus to level 7. Okay, so let's take a look at your Great Hall. So you've got your accuracy up to 5, and it looks like you are getting some gold medals at this point. So what you need is 600 silver medals, and then you're going to need 700 gold medals. So that's going to take you a while. That's going to take you a while, especially if you're only in gold 1. So let's take a look at your arena team. So here you are in gold 1. Let's just take a look at the team. Good team. Not a bad team at all. All right, so you've got your speed aura, and you've got 1 turn meter filler. So that means that you have to pick your targets carefully. Let's look at the build on these champions. Let's go ahead and look at Sun Wukong. So Sun Wukong's running at 270 accuracy, low crit rate, low crit damage, slow at 161. That's not particularly fast. Now, that's not necessarily the worst thing, but if you're using him with high accuracy, it means you're using him as a buff stripper, right? So before attacking, steals all buffs from all enemies and places a block debuff buff on them. So if you're prioritizing this skill, it's more valuable to place this before your nukers go, right? Because you can remove shield buffs. You can remove any kind of buffs anybody spawns in with. So that's going to give you more flexibility. Plus, you get the block debuffs buff up. So if you don't nuke them out in 1 turn and they go, unless they have a cleanse, that's going to prevent them from getting any buffs up because it's also a block buffs. So I think one of the things that you need to do is you need to get this guy faster. Now, I'm just going to look at so the first thing I would do is look at speed boots here for Sun Wukong. So let's go ahead and see if you've got any speed boots in the perception set. All right, let's see if you have any equipped in the perception set. Okay, so these are your best speed boots in the perception set. So I would keep farming forge materials and I would use boot charms. Use boot charms in the forge and just try to get as many speed boots as you can out of this. Another option is you could potentially go with an accuracy set if you have that, or you could even go with a speed set if you had another one of these, so you don't. Here's a tip, and everybody can take this this is a really good tip. If you are struggling to get speed boots, go to Brutal Campaign. Come over here to Palace of Aravia and farm stage 6. Now this is going to drop 3, 4, and 5-star gear. All right. So you're going to always get a boot. It'll be a boot every time. But all you need is some 5-star speed boots in the speed set. So you can just farm this stage over and over and over again. It's a little bit less efficient in terms of goal and XP. Obviously, you want to be at 12-3 brutal for that. But spend a couple of hundred energy here. Just pick up 3 or 4 speed boots. Even 4-star speed boots are going to help you on certain champions when you're relatively early in the game. Like you're not at level 60 yet, so you can probably still get some value on some champions with 4-star speed boots. But 5-star speed boots, even if they're common, are great. If they're uncommon and they have like accuracy or crit rate on them, then those become very powerful pieces. Because here's the nice thing about a common. If you have an uncommon. If you have an uncommon, so you have a green border, right? You only have 1 substat, so that substat's going to get a roll. So if you have uncommon speed boots, let's say that are 5-star, and you have accuracy, you're guaranteed to get 1 more roll into accuracy. And so you're going to pick up 10 or 12 accuracy plus the speed boots. All of a sudden, that becomes Deacon Armstrong's speed boot. All of a sudden, you have another option for any other debuffer like Wukong. Right, because Wukong is a debuffer, so having that accuracy substat would be good. If you get crit rate, think about it for your nuker. Think about it for any damage dealer. You know, if you get something like resistance, or you get something like, I don't know, if you get like flat HP, you can think about where those can go as well. So this is a great thing to come in here. I always get in here early in the game and I farm like 4 or 5 pairs of speed boots, try to get 5-star speed boots. And then I just let them sit in my vault. And then whenever I'm like, oh man, I need some speed boots, that's where I go, and they're sitting there. They're just waiting for me. The other option is to get in here to the forge, go into your perception gear, use this charm here, and go and put your boot charm on. And if you're putting a boot charm on, you can decide if you want a substat charm. Now, substats on boots, the best, don't ever put speed on as a substat, because that's awful, because you want speed boots. You don't want other boots. So your options here are going to be crit rate and accuracy, and you can use those up. And by the way, if you're doing this, if you're putting these charms in, put both of these charms in as well. So like, don't ever just use the boot charm. Boot charm, accuracy, fire it up. You're going to get accuracy as a substat on a speed boot in the perception set. That's literally a perfect boot. There isn't anything better than that, right? Because you get speed, you get accuracy, and then what do you get on the set? You get speed and you get accuracy. So it's the perfect synergy. So you do need some speed boots. Another thing you want to be doing today is farming that dragon. That dragon's got triple speed gear drops, so you need speed on that Wukong. Let's go ahead and look at your other champions. 138 speed here is really slow. Attack, HP, defense. She doesn't have max crit rate. So if she is a debuffer, maybe this isn't awful, but you're running her with a set that gives you crit damage and unkillable. So it sounds like you're running her as a damage dealer. And if you're running her as a damage dealer, you need 100% crit rate. So this defensive percentage glove's got to come out. Now you may think, all right, I've got this set, I want to keep all the set together. But if this set doesn't give you the right stats, then this isn't going to work. So this is what we're going to do today. We're going to work on building your arena team out the right way as well as we can. If that's okay with you, GLT. Does that sound like a plan? I just want to check in. All right. That's what we're going to do. So yeah, we're going to rebuild your arena team here a little bit. By the way, Mashalit is phenomenal, and this is probably another champion you want here in your arena team. So let's go ahead and look at this champion. This is a top tier arena champion. So you have this A2, right, which places an increased speed, increased crit damage buff on all your allies for 2 turns. Increased crit rate, increased crit damage is just that 30% multiplier. Just gives you more damage. This also places a true fear and a leech debuff on all enemies. So that true fear on the enemies has a 50% chance of them missing their turn and losing their cooldown. So he is a really powerful all-around kind of buffer and debuffer. You also have this other ability. So you have a 100% chance when booked of stealing all the buffs from the target before attacking, then placing a heal reduction, and then you also get like some self-sustain. So this hits decently hard, but you can steal all the buffs of a particular, dangerous enemy, and then you get those buffs because it's a steal. So you want accuracy on them, you want speed on them. So this is another perception set champion, which you've already got. Again, we're going to want way, way more speed. So look for speed main stat boots. We need 10 of those boots. We need them in perception set and we need them in speed set. So I think this is the primary thing we're going to look at today. I love Septimus, by the way. Septimus is such a great champion. He's one of my favorites, old school. Let's see how Deacon is built. 187, nice. With the speed boots. Looks like you've only got 2 speed substats. Surprisingly, you must have speed substat over here. Another one. You've got accuracy on the banner. So this champion is built out well. Good accuracy, over 200 accuracy. Decent defense. So this champion is built right where you need them. I would even potentially consider like glyphing out this champ for more speed once you get everybody else's speed up to snuff. So we may do that today. And then let's look at Brogni. You have Brogni in the team. So you've got a couple of books into Brogni. So right now you've got a 90% chance of removing a random buff. Places a block debuffs and increase attack on all allies for 2 turns. So this is your increase attack champion. So you have an increase attack champion, you have a decrease defense champion, you have a buff remover, and a nuker. Were those the 4 that were on the team? Yeah. So you're not using Kale as your arena nuker right now. Let's go ahead. I want to just look at Kale for a second. 181, 99% crit rate. Crit damage accuracy. So right now, Kale should be your nuker and not Rhonda. Because Kale is built well. Right? Not perfect. Not perfect for arena because still in lifesteal, you know, so it's your all-around nuker. I get that. But yeah, I would say... All right. So let's see what we can do. I mean, she could be your dedicated arena nuker down the line, but we definitely need to rebuild her. So let's see, if we're doing this and this, and this is increase attack, then we don't need Mishalad right now. The increased crit damage is nice, but... And then Kale. Okay. So let's see. Let's take a look at each of these champions. So I think we're going to leave Deacon alone for right now because he's going real fast. So at 187, here we have 161. 161 plus 15% is like 185. Deacon's a little bit fast, but the thing is, if Deacon decreases the turn meter of the enemy, it works anyway. If you don't, then you're going to get cut at some point. So this is where we need that. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can make some boots. We don't have a lot of cash. But we can make some 5-star boots. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put some rank and rarity charms. We are going to do boots. And we are going to do accuracy here. And we can do up to 10 of them. But obviously, we're going to sell anything that's total rubbish because we don't want to totally destroy your cash pool. So we're going to do one at a time rather than a 10 pull. That's a nice piece. It's only 4 stars, but that's not bad. It's got accuracy and crit rate on it. You might find a use for that. That's a very nice piece. This is a phenomenal piece. Wow. Wow, this is going to be really good. You could put this on Rhonda. You could put this on Sun Wukong. You could put this on Kale. You could put this on any damage dealer, any debuffer. Like, you're going to get the speed, you have accuracy. Obviously, those are the 2 most important things in the set, plus the crit rate and the crit damage. So you want it to be on somebody who's going to hit hard. Sorry, I got to look at... Here. Kale dies early in gold tier, so swap to Rhonda, but Septimus in my mind. Septimus is good for arena. Kale is good for arena. Rhonda is good for arena. They're all good for arena. It's more about the build than the champion. None of those champions are like head and shoulders above the others. Kale is going to be really well built because you have him as your main champion. So think about that for now. Even if he dies, that might be more about the setup than it is about Kale. But this is a fantastic piece. So we're definitely keeping that piece. We're still hoping for some speed boots though. Another weapon, 3 weapons in a row. This piece is okay. This is not great. I'm going to sell this just because we don't want to totally run you out of cash. So that should give us enough cash to keep running. Accuracy and speed substats. Defense flat stat is not awesome, but you could think about putting this on Deacon. Accuracy and speed with defense as a flat stat. If this rolls into speed or accuracy multiple times, might be worth running up for a little bit. That's an okay shield. Accuracy and crit rate. It is a legendary. HP chestplate with defense percentage. It's not bad. It's not awesome. I'm not going to sell that. I'm going to hold on to that just in case. This is the annoying thing about charms. Right now we're using charms. We haven't gotten a single boot. Come on, let's get a boot. There we go. 5-star speed boots. No good substats, but it does not matter. That is exactly what we needed. Okay. I was getting worried there. All right, so let's look at these pieces here. We need Wukong to be faster, right? But we don't want him to be so fast that he outpaces Deacon. Actually, honestly, that's not bad. He could be faster than Deacon. That wouldn't be awful. Right? Because then he would potentially remove any debuffs and then Deacon would go with the turn meter. So it doesn't really matter. The only downside is then the decreased defense wouldn't be out there. All right, so let's take a look at some speed here. That's a nice potential piece. We have no silver. We have no silver to run anything up. All right, let me do a gear cleanse. Let me see if I can find some silver. Let me see if I can find some silver. All right, potentially there's some silver. All right, we're going to sell that. We're going to sell the Fury and the Daze and the Cursed and the Frost. And we're going to sell Destroy Commons. And we're going to sell all of the Curing. You don't need this set really on anybody. It's only going to give us 223,000 silver. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. All right, so let's run this up. Let's see if we can get this to 12. I'd love accuracy here. Resistance, that's okay. That would get you to 187. Keep you with the same accuracy. You would lose a little bit of crit rate. But if we're running him as a debuffer, we don't care. Attack drops a little bit. HP drops a... Why does the HP drop so much? How are we losing 10,000? Oh, because it was HP boots. That's why. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. So yeah, and we could potentially get another 14 speed out of him. That would put you at 201. That would be a really nice place for him to be. That means we got to get Deacon faster. And we need to get Underpriest Brogni way faster. Maybe that's better. Maybe getting Brogni faster for right now is better than getting Wukong faster. Because he's the increased attack, right? So he needs to be faster than your nuker. Because he's your increased attack. So he has to go before Kale. And Kale's at 181. This is tricky with no silver. This is really tricky with no silver. All right, so let's get that boot. This would make him 187. That means he's faster than Kale at 181. So we get the buff removal before Kale goes. It's 100,000 silver just to take that boot off. All right, I'm going to write this down. I'm not going to make these swaps, but I'm going to plan out the swap so that when you get some silver, you can do this. Swap this boot out. So it's going to be a boot swap for, or you can write this down, boot swap for Sun Wukong. And you want to, that's going to take you up to 187 speed. Don't run these boots up to 6-star yet. You need to make your Deacon faster before you do that. So let's look at the Deacon again. And we want speed substats. And we're going to close everything except for speed, divine speed. Oh, it looks like we're going to close divine speed because you only have, yeah, unfortunately this set is not full yet. And perception. Okay. So this chess piece here, I'm going to run this chess piece up. Let's see if we get anything. Speed or accuracy. Accuracy, nice. Very nice. Okay, so when you make this swap, you're only going to lose the 3 accuracy, which is not going to be a lot. You're going to get more defense, which is going to keep Deacon alive. You don't care about his attack, you want his defense up. Now you're going to lose some HP here, but if we can get that 3rd roll into speed, in fact, I'm going to roll, I'm going to risk it here. Okay, we got into attack. So that's going to give him 4 more speed. You want to glyph this guy out. We need to get him over 200. So we're at 191 right now. All we really care about is getting him faster. We don't want to kill his defenses, but we actually got more defense here. We lost some attack. We did lose some HP, but that's actually going to probably play in your favor. We need to maintain his accuracy as well, but you're going to have glyphs. So that's good. Okay, so now let's look at, do we have any speed pieces that could get us more speed? This is a this is a perfect piece. Let me look at the equipped stuff just to see what he's got. I love this. I'm getting all excited. All right, so he doesn't have any speed on his shield. And he also doesn't have any accuracy on his shield. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to try to do this with like 500k silver. Accuracy, nice. Give me a speed roll. Give me a speed roll. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Wow, that's a great piece. That's such a good piece. All right, that's going to take him up to 239. We're going to get another few. All right, we need to land him at like 202 if we can. Let's look at the weapon. This is the weapon, right? So right now, we would need a speed roll and we would need an accuracy roll to stay pat with that. So that would be expensive. What about the helmet? Let's look at the helmet. Where is he? He's here somewhere, isn't he? Why am I not seeing him? Because his helmet doesn't have any speed on it. His helmet does not have any speed on it. That's what we need. We need a helmet with some speed on it. All right, so we're swapping out. All right, so this is Deacon, right? So we want to swap that shield. And we want to swap potentially a helmet if we can get a helmet with speed on it. And we want to swap the chest piece. So again, I'm not going to equip because the equip would take 150,000, but let's go see if we can make a perception piece. We've got a few more 5-star perception pieces we can roll. We got about 9. So we're going to roll these and we're going to look for helmets. And now we want speed as a substat. And we're going to go for the biggest one we can. Shield with speed. It's 4-star, unfortunately. 5-star with speed and crit rate. That's great. We're going to use that. Helmet with speed, defense, and HP. Perfect. 5-star. Awesome. All right, here we go. Here we go. We're making moves. We are making moves. I'm excited about this. I'm trying to do this with, I'm shaking. It's like 500K silver. That's ridiculous. Okay, let's make this work. Let's make this work. Got 174,000. Rolling the speed. Rolling the speed. Come on. Give me speed. Give me speed. Yes. Yes. That's so nice. Okay, this is perfect. I'm not even going to roll it up anymore. So let's see. We're going to get this on him. Let's see. Now we need to get the shield on him, right? Oops. Where's the shield? No, it wasn't the shield. It was the speed shield. We're going to get this on him. Okay, and then we had the chest piece. Now, the chest piece was in perception. $205 with an additional 36 accuracy. All right, so this is the swap you need to make. Write this down because you do not have the silver to make this swap right now. This is your new build for Deacon Armstrong. You've got more defense, you got more speed. That 205 speed is beautiful. You got 239 accuracy, which is great. You're going to land more drop defenses. Okay, so this guy is now definitely your speed lead. He's going to help you more in dungeons. He's going to help you more in arena. Awesome. Now let's look at that Wukong. So the Wukong, I think the only swap we're going to make is this boot. Oh, you want to check the masteries? Masteries fine there. You can do that. I don't like this. I don't like this on Deacon. All right, so here's the thing about the defense tree. The defense tree is a fine tree. It has a lot of nice options for you, but it's the hardest one to use effectively. All right, offense is really simple in a lot of cases. If you're running somebody in a clan boss thing, you just get down to War Master or you get down to Giant Slayer, and that's really the most important thing. Especially on a support, you almost don't care about anything else. This one is a little bit tricky because you don't want to reduce cooldowns on your Deacon if you're trying to speed tune a boss. But, I mean, try to speed tune a clan boss team. You know, so you don't want any turn meter effects. But in this case, I would actually go ahead and, yeah. Do you mind if I redo your masteries here? Can I redo this guy's masteries? Okay, I'm going to, because I think it's free. No, you've already redone it. You've already redone it. I'm not going to spend 150 gems, but, well, you can decide. You want me to spend 150 gems? Because I would bring you down the support tree here. I would definitely do that. Because this is going to give you a ton more accuracy. It's also going to give you more speed. It's going to give you more defense. It's going to give you all sorts of stuff. You have another Deacon available? You have a second Deacon? Okay. All right. So, I mean, in terms of clan boss. So here's the thing. The most important thing in clan boss is the War Master, right? That's the most important mastery for any champion that goes into clan boss. You're going to want them to have either War Master or Giant Slayer. There are a few exceptions. There are just a few exceptions where you really need, let's say, the defense and support tree, and you don't care about the extra damage because that's going to allow you to do something else mechanically or tactically. But what does Deacon need? Why do we put him in perception sets? We put him in perception sets because he needs accuracy and he needs speed. He needs to be one of your fastest champions because he is a turn meter filler. So the faster he is, the less the speed requirement on the champions who are slower than him like have, right? They don't need as much speed. But to land your debuff, to land your leech, and especially your decreased defense, you need accuracy. When you're talking about clan boss, if you want to use him up through, say, Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare clan boss, you're going to need about, I think it's about 300 accuracy for Ultra Nightmare. It's like 255 and 305 or something like that. But in the arena, if you're going to use him in the arena, you're going to need a lot more accuracy. You're going to want him up at like 400, 450, 500 accuracy. That's also something you're going to need if you take him into Hard Doom Tower. So the upper levels, the upper floors of Hard Doom Tower, the resistances get insane. And you're going to need 450 accuracy up there. So that 450 accuracy is going to help you in Arena. It's going to help you in Doom Tower. And it's going to be enough for every dungeon and every clan boss. So that's great. So push the accuracy. Now, what you can do when you come down the support tree is you can go into pinpoint accuracy. That's 10 accuracy. You get the charged focus. That's accuracy by 20 when you have no skills on cooldown. So in the arena, you're going to have your turn meter fill is going to go first. So you're going to land that turn meter decrease on the enemy because you're going to get this extra 20 accuracy. And then you go here, accuracy by 4 for each enemy alive. So that's another 16 accuracy. Then you come into Lore of Steel. Now, Lore of Steel is really important because this is going to give you an additional 15% on that 40 accuracy you get on every perception set. You're getting 120 accuracy out of 3 sets of perception, right? So you're getting an extra 15% of that. It's an extra 18 accuracy from just Lore of Steel. Plus, you're getting 15% speed. So you're getting an additional 15% of 15%, which would be 2.25%. So you're getting an additional 2.25% speed, which is about 3 speed for Deacon. So that's an incredibly powerful one. You can also use this Evil Eye. Now, this Evil Eye decreases the target's turn meter when this champion hits them with the default skill for the first time. So your A1, the first time you use your A1 on a target, you get turn meter decrease. This is really bad for Bommel and really good almost everywhere else, especially in Arena, right? Also good in wave content. So you want this Evil Eye probably on your Deacon. Then if you want, you can come and run a chance to extend any debuff, which will increase your debuff duration on your debuffs from 2 to 3 turns, which is nice, especially for clan boss. You can increase the length of that leech, or you can also increase the length of that decreased defense. So you got a lot of options here. But remember, avoid, if you're going to clan boss tune, speed tune this champion, avoid things like Spirit Haste, avoid Cycle of Magic, avoid any turn meter fill here. So Rapid Response and Arcane Celerity, avoid both of those. So you want to just go Pinpoint Accuracy, Charged Focus, Swarm Smiter, Lore of Steel, Evil Eye, Master Hexer. There you go. You can also consider Sniper if you want an extra chance to land any debuffs that aren't at 100%. And they're not CCs. And then you can just come down here on the left side. I usually actually run Heart of Glory if I'm going to run the champion in Arena, because this first hit, which is that AoE decreased defense, will do 5% extra damage. I know you're trading it against this one, but in Arena, this is less valuable. So I would definitely come over here. I would get Heart of Glory. I would get rid of Cycle of Violence, and I would probably just come down here. Yeah, I don't even think you're probably going to be running 2 at this level. You're going to be running Evil Eye and Lore of Steel, so you're only going to get 1 here. So you're going to come down the right side and then just go straight down. I'm sorry, down the left side. Down the left side and come straight. Am I blocking the screen again? It's right behind me, of course. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what I would do. So I would definitely change this guy's masteries. And it's going to help you in both places. So if you want me to do that, I can do that with your 150 gems, but it's entirely up to you. I do not have to do it. Don't feel any pressure to do it. You could think about it and then do it later. Or if you decide to build a second Deacon Armstrong and you want to build him that way, go ahead. Yes. Okay. He wants me to do it. All right, let's go ahead. All right. So this is what we would do. We would go here, here, here. All right, now we have to figure out what we want here. We don't want either the turn meter fill, so that's the 5%. And then here we have to decide, do we want this or do we want the 5%? Now the 5% will get that leech out there a little bit more often, and this will give you a little bit more damage in wave content. That's kind of a 50-50. Do you have a preference? Do you want to increase your leech chance or do you want to increase your damage slightly? You don't know? All right, I would go with the leech. So let's call it that. Now if you're going to look, by the way, you've already increased your speed, right? Because you're running through 2 speed sets, so you're getting additional speed off of that. You increased your accuracy as well. So now when you make your swaps, you're going to get even more out of that. All right, so now we've got Sun Wukong and Deacon rebuilt. Right, okay, so that's awesome. We know where we are. And we're leaving Kale. We're going to leave Kale alone for now. Because he's at 99% crit rate. I mean, let's see if there are any crit rate or crit damage gloves out there worth thinking about. Those could be interesting. Those are interesting. Those are interesting. Okay, so here's the thing that we can start thinking about. We saw the shield. We saw the perceptions piece. Okay, this is crit rate and crit. Let's look at these 2 pieces. And we don't care about substats. Let's go down to perception. Because I think we pulled 2 perception pieces. This is a new perception piece. This is okay, this was this the one that we pulled earlier? That was the first one we got, right? This replaces this one. You're going to get your crit rate. It's going to push you over 100%. You want to make sure that you're not losing speed on this, or that you're, obviously it's going to drop your crit damage a little bit. I know that that's nice, but you're going to maintain some of it. So this is the piece to roll up. How much silver do we have? 128,000. Let's see what we roll into. Speed, nice. How about crit rate? Speed again. He's going to get faster. Okay, so you've got a glyph there, but this is potentially 2 speed faster. And again, you should probably roll that one up. And then let's look at this piece. Was this the one or this was the one? This was the one. Yes. Do it again. Do it again. Yes. Okay. All right, so now here's the thing I'm starting to think about, which is, can we get away from crit rate gloves? I don't think that we can for now. But we pick up a little tiny bit of speed here. Let's look at some other pieces in the lifesteal set. Oh, you've also got this piece. This is the free piece that everybody gets. This is one of the best pieces you get early game, and it should be on somebody. That's not a bad piece. This is a nice piece. Did you have anything in crit damage going on? Let's see what's in the crit damage. Let's see what's in the crit damage set. Hmm. I'm just messing around right now. I don't know that we're going to be able to find this. Oh, we wanted this piece. This was the piece we wanted, though. Wow, we rolled perfectly on all three of those. Okay, so this will run up to 40 speed. So we would pick up another 28 speed on that. That would get you to 176. That drops you down to 87%. We were looking at the 5-star gloves. This is the one that I was thinking about. All right, so this is potential. I don't know. Now I'm just kind of messing around a little bit. This feels like the loss of accuracy might not be worth it on Clan Boss. If you're going to make him your arena nuker, this would be really good potentially because you could run it up. You would have about the same speed. You'd get a little bit more crit damage probably. You'd have to run these gloves up. You would get your 100% crit rate. This will max out at, what is it? 50%. So you're going to get another 34%, which would get you to 97. So you would have to land a crit rate on that to get you to 100. But if you landed one roll there, that would get you to 100. So yeah, I don't know about this one. That one's a little bit trickier. But yeah, okay. So do we have any? We don't have a banner for Brogni, and we need to get him faster. So let's figure out if we can figure out a build for Underpiece Brogni. I think we're all set. I'm going to give this 5 more minutes. We'll see if we can do this. So right now you're running a bolster. You're running a bolster set on him because he increases shields. If you want to keep him that way, that makes sense to me. He's great in a bolster set. Then he's not your increase attack champion. Because I don't think you can do both with this guy in a bolster set. You'd have to get so much faster. First of all, you'd have to put speed boots on him. But even if you put speed boots on him, you're still going to max out at around 164, right? Maybe 169. If you get a banner on him and you get some speed on that, maybe you get him up to like 180. But he's your increase attack champion, which means he needs to go before your nuker goes. And your nuker is running right now at 181. And we're going to get him faster. It's working for this champion because this champion is running at 138, but this is way, way too slow. So I think that I'm just going to look and see if you have any other increased attack champions who I would consider. This guy's a decent, yeah. Decent. I just got my first Lorne the Cutter. I don't know him that well. Here's your other increased attack champion. And it looks like you're building him out. I know he's also a increased defense, block damage, shield. She's got an increased attack. That's a decrease attack and increase attack. All right, so right now what it looks like is you have three options. You have three good options for increased attack. You have Ursula the Mourner, you have Dracul the Gaunt, and you have Underpriest Brogni. They're all phenomenal champions. They're all worth building out for whatever you want to build them out for. I would potentially think about bringing Ursula the Mourner up as your increased attack champion for the arena for two reasons, or maybe three reasons. One is that she has an AoE on her increased attack, and it also places a decrease attack. So if she's going fast enough and she's going to reduce the damage that your enemy can potentially do against you, she's going to increase your attack, but she's also going to soften everybody up a little bit. She hits. It's just like War Maiden. When War Maiden drops her decreased defense, she hits decently hard. So that's out there. Plus, she has the turn meter on her A1, her turn meter decrease. So this is just a great dungeon champion. She's also got the speed aura and Doom Tower. Out of all of the champions that you have, she's going to, she's the epic. So the other two are legendary. So she's going to be easier to book and build out. You also want her super fast. She's really, really good when she's fast. You can use her in Fire Knight. You can use her in any dungeon. She's great in every dungeon. She's going to be great with any attack-based champion and any defense-based champion. So, you've got that there. She gives you the revives for Faction Crypt. She's a perfect champion. She's amazingly efficient for a free-to-play account. Build her up. Get her fast enough so that she can go second behind Deacon Armstrong. So you want Deacon Armstrong at like 205, 210. Get him up there. Get him to 205, 210. Now you want Ursula around 200. Get her up to 200. Sun Wukong, get him up to about 180. Maybe, let's see, what's the 15% on 180 would be 24. That'd be up to 204. So you're going to need to get him probably to about 185, 186. Make sure he doesn't disconnect from Deacon Armstrong. So, in fact, you need to make him just a little bit faster than Kale, because Kale's going to be pretty fast. So you're probably going to want, like we said, Deacon at 205, 210, Ursula a little bit slower than that, Wukong just a little bit slower than Ursula. And you want him slower than Ursula because he is going to benefit from the increased attack on Ursula. So she's going to give you the increased attack. He's now going to do his buff removal, which hits. Make sure he's got a lot of accuracy. We've already got the swaps for him. It looks like he's going to land at 187 speed. So she needs to be around 190. And then Kale, you're going to need him to not disconnect from Deacon Armstrong either. So he's going to need to get a little bit faster. Keep that 100% crit rate if you can. Push the accuracy for dungeons. And don't worry about Rhonda. Don't worry about Rhonda right now. If you want Rhonda, if she just feels like the way to go, which I'm not sure she is, because you have Phantom Touch here. You have the masteries fully done. Yeah, she has. So it feels like Rhonda she's good. She's definitely good, but she doesn't have a build right now, and it's going to be pretty hard to rebuild her. So that's what you need. You need Deacon into Ursula, into Wukong, into Kale. That will very easily keep you in gold in the right place. The only thing that's going to get better than that is when you get an increased attack champion who also has a turn meter fill, because that's going to alleviate the speed requirement of your nuker. At that point, bring Rhonda in and leave her in attack percentage boots. get her speed to like 160 and have her in attack percentage boots, and she's going to be your nuker and you're going to do fine, right? That's going to be great. If you would rather swap out to Septimus, you need the exact same build on Septimus that you would need on Rhonda. The only difference is you don't need any accuracy on Septimus. Rhonda needs accuracy if you want to run her debuffs. If you don't care about her debuffs, just run her pure damage, and that's fine. But so that's if you want your gold arena tokens, this is how you do it. Deacon into your increased attack, into Wukong, into Kale, and then you're fine. So you need about 5 or 6 million silver to pull that up. Now you want to look at Clan Boss? I'll look at your Clan Boss real quick. You got a 20 million key. You got a 20 million key. 1 key on easy. You probably shouldn't be hitting easy. If you're pulling 20 million on easy, you should be hitting normal and hard. So let's go ahead and hit hard. You okay with me firing this off? Okay. So you got a quick battle on hard. You've got a great team here. 11.81 million. On hard should be just 1 key to 11.6. So 1 key there. The mastery messed it up, you think? The Deacon Armstrong mastery? I mean, we also changed. No, we didn't change his speed, did we? Yeah, I mean, you did 20 million on this key. You're not going to do 20 million on hard. I think 11.81 is pretty good here. Were you pulling down 20 million before on this key? I don't think just changing Deacon Armstrong's masteries would have done anything to your damage here. He's typing. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so I do think, I think you've got a really good team here. So you've got the Leech out there, which is going to help you survive. You got Brogni to give you shields and grow those shields. That's going to help you survive. You got your HP burn from Artak, which is going to do a lot of damage. You've got Kale, who's bringing poisons. That's going to bring a lot of damage. I think Rhonda here is actually the redundant champion. She's good. She's going to bring fine damage, but she doesn't have a brimstone. And that's one of the reasons why you bring a champion like Rhonda into Clan Boss, because she's going to give you a chance for a brimstone. But without the brimstone, I would think you could potentially remove her and think about bringing in somebody that is going to give you something that you don't have. So again, Ursula the Mourner would give you a decreased attack, and that could potentially extend your life a little bit. Does Brogni have a decreased attack? I'm not sure he does. No. She's also going to bring you an increased defense and a strength in here. So you can get that. I mean, it is on a 5-turn cooldown when it's booked. So she's not perfect for this. Let's look at Drokgul here. What about him? What does he bring? Increased defense on all allies. And he gives you some heals. So he might be the guy to bring in for Clan Boss. Now, obviously, right now, she's got her, 6-star mastery. You have Helm Smasher on her, which is not the big damage dealing mastery for Clan Boss anyway. This is better for Arena, right? So when you get her specialized as your Arena nuker, this is going to work for you. But in the meantime, she's not bringing a Giant Slayer or a War Master proc. So, not incredibly adding to the damage there. So yeah, I would think about swapping her out and bringing in somebody who gives you a little bit more in terms of something that you're missing as a debuff or a buff. And it looks like Drokgul could give you a little bit more sustain. And, he's going to give you that increased defense, which is going to be nice, that block damage. He's another increased attack champion, so you'll have it up 100% of the time. He gives you these heals when the shields expire or are broken, and they heal before any additional damage is given. So he's really good. Yeah, you've also got Septimus here. That's going to give you that increased speed and crit damage. This is going to be really good. You get 100% uptime on the leech with Deacon Armstrong. Yeah, continuous heals for himself. So Mashalad could be good. That increased speed could really be good because you're lacking in increased speed right now. But I actually think Dracul may be even a little bit better than Mashalad right now. It's hard to say because this increased defense you don't have, right? You don't have an increased defense. And the thing about the increased defense is not only is that going to just improve your survivability from a straight damage mitigation point, it also means the shields, Brogni's shields take less damage. So that the shields are actually going to be alive longer as well. Septimus is great because he's got a enemy max HP hit. So yeah, he could be really good for clan boss. I have him in my clan boss team I have him on my Nightmare clan boss team on one of my alt accounts, and he does the most damage on the team. So he has Brimstone, he has his max HP, and he's all the way masteried, and he has not Giant Slayer, he has War Master. So yeah. Okay, so I think that's it, man. That was kind of a wild ride with only 500,000 silver. I wish I could have done a little bit more for you. So next time, and this is good for anybody out there who's watching. If you want a takeover, try to have at least a few million silver, like 5 million silver minimum would be really helpful. I know it can be tricky on an early game account to have that kind of silver, but this at least gives you a plan going forward. I think that arena plan, you're talking about the Arbiter missions. Getting this mission, upgrading an affinity bonus to level 7 requires gold medallions, gold tokens, whatever they're called. So you need to get up to, really gold 3, even gold 4 if you can. And the only way to do that is to have a perfectly speed-tuned composition that brings everything you need. And you have the champions. You have a great speed aura. You have a turn meter fill with a drop defense. You need an increased attack champion that's speed-tuned in the right place. And then you need your nuker to hit as hard as possible. And at this point, once you get to gold, you really have to think about specializing a damage dealer. You're not quite there yet. I think you get the Kale back in the rotation, build him the right way. He's going to help you in clan boss, in dungeons, and in arena. But in like 2 or 3 weeks time, maybe a month's time, you can transition that Rhonda over. She's already got the Helm Smasher. She's already ready to go. Just get her gear in the right place. Get those attack percentage boots on her, get her speed up to like whatever it has to be. Might have to be like 170, 180. And then you're going to be doing great in gold because you do have the pieces. Yeah, no worries. It was sudden, he says, so he wasn't prepared. That's okay. Don't mind at all. I love taking a look at these accounts because this is what happens, right? This happens to all of us. We get to this point where now this roster, look at this roster. This roster is a very legitimate roster. Like, let's go ahead and just do it by rarity. And in fact, let's go ahead and include everything. Like, this is a really legitimate roster. You have some good champions here. And this happens to everybody. Let's look at, where we are in the game and then what we have as champions. So Artak, phenomenal champion. Rhonda, phenomenal champion. Under Priest Brogni, like, god tier champion. Right? Sun Wukong. So you have 3 great login reward champions. You have a Mashalad, who's an excellent champion. You've got Dracul, the Septimus. All of these are good champions. All of them are worth 6 stars. Deacon, yes. Inquisitor, yes. Ursula, yes. Gala Longbraids, yes. Magnar, yes. Haikatoon, absolutely. We keep going down here. It's like Anchorite, yes. You got a second Magnar, second Deacon. Vrask, really good champion. And then we even get into the rares and you're like, okay, we've got Kale. Yeah. Diabolist, really good rare. You have an Apothecary. Apothecary is phenomenal, so you have a good 15 or 18 champions that are worth 6 stars right now, but you only have 6 at 6 stars. It looks like, right? You have 6 at 6 stars. So now you're in this place where you think, oh, well, I have all these great champions and I want to push each champion that I have. I want to get my Magnar leveled up. He's going to be awesome for 3v3, or he could be my main arena nuker. But I already have Rhonda, and I have Kale, and I have Septimus. You don't need all of them. You don't need all of them. You need one really effective, and the rest can wait. And that's hard. That's like emotionally, mentally difficult. We're like, oh, maybe I can get more progression out of Septimus. No, you'll get more progression out of a properly built Rhonda than building up a Septimus and having a half good Septimus and a half good Rhonda, right? That's a lot of resources to go into 2 champions who aren't optimized. So don't 6-star Septimus, right? Don't do it. You don't need him right now. He's really fun. I know he is. You got a little heart-shaped item on him. Don't level him up next, right? You've got your Rhonda. You've got your Kale. Kale is your all-around damage dealer. Rhonda is your arena nuker in just a little bit, right? Kale is dungeons and clan boss. Rhonda in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks of good farming, she's going to be your arena nuker, right? So what are you missing? Figure out what you're missing and bring up one of those champions, even if they don't seem like they're as powerful, right? Even if they're not quite as exciting. Bring up a champion who gives you a skill that you currently lack. You know, so when we look at these champions, I'm like, what are you missing? Well, you're really missing, you know, that decrease attack. We need that decrease attack out there. That's Ursula. Right? She brings that decrease attack. You also need an increase attack for the arena. That's also Ursula. Right? So it's like, oh, she brings 2 of the 3 things you need. What if we're talking about clan boss? Well, if we're talking about clan boss, we need to extend that fight. Draco brings an increased defense. He also brings an increased attack. So he brings 2 things you need. So one of these 2 champions should be your next 6-star. Right? Just based on the roster you have. If you don't 6-star one of those 2 champions next, you're missing out. Unless you happen to pick up another champion who gives you at least 2 things that are helpful in both clan boss and arena. You know. Anyway, so moving forward, that's how you want to think about the account. Not just like getting value from new champions, but getting the maximum value out of the champions you have. And if that means spending thousands of energy in Dragon tonight, do it. Use all of your gems in Dragon tonight. Get all that speed gear. Get back in faction crypts. Make sure that you're getting as many. All right, you've already got them cleared out. Get as many of those materials as you can. Get in the forge. Use those charms. Use them all up. Because early power is so much more valuable than late power. Use all of those charms up to get the boots, the speed boots, or the crit damage gloves, or the crit rate gloves that you need in the sets that you need. Focus on perception, and then farm speed boots in campaign if you need. All right, so that's it. I think that's it for everybody. Do you have any questions? Anything you want me to look at before we shut it down? I said 5 minutes like 20 minutes ago, but. Hey, son, do we have any questions or input from the chat that we need to call out? You are welcome, GOT. This was fun. I enjoyed this. This was a challenge. I burned all of your silver. I apologize. I've used up 500K of your silver, but I think you've got some good pieces there that you can potentially swap out. So if you have any questions about the swaps, I've got them written down. So, but I think that's going to improve. All right, son. So let's, what we had some questions earlier. With the clan boss. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to close out this account so GOT can get it back and start farming, because today is there's limited time on that dragon event, and we want that dragon event going on. So let me see, in fact, how much time do we have on that dragon event? We got 2 more days and 14 hours. Okay, so we've got some time. I'm going to be farming this like a madman on my main. This is my main. This is a team I made on my main just recently. I was messing around. I don't know if I was messing around for a video. I find myself constantly changing teams and like experimenting for videos. But there's only, there are only so many teams you can save. You can only save 15 teams. So I don't have all of my teams saved. So I'm breaking teams left and right. I'm changing the gear on champions and I'm messing up teams. And so now I'm constantly putting together new teams. So I don't even know if this one's any good. But we'll just run this in the background while we talk to chat for the last few minutes. Steve says, got to run. Have a good one. Midiuni says, Druckle is amazing in Clan Boss. He was my account's GOAT until Ultra Nightmare. Yeah, I think he's very good. Liv says, great work. Thanks, Liv. Thanks for being here. Bryce has an update on mine from last week. I got through the mission thanks to your help. I will have Arbiter tomorrow. Congratulations, Bryce. That is awesome. Kevin C says, hate, I missed it. Love what I saw. As always, awesome takeover. Thank you, Kevin. You can, as soon as this ends, the recording will go up and you can go ahead and watch it. Aaron Bojan says, hey, peeps. Hey, Aaron. Unfortunately, we are ending. So hello and soon to be goodbye. And Tobias says, good game. Well done. Speed is king. Speed is king, especially in arena. There really isn't a better stat in the game all around. But speed tuning is king. That really is the point, I think. The nice thing about speed tuning in the arena is you can do it with some relatively simple calculations. You don't have to get overly complex with it. When it gets to Clan Boss, that's when it gets complex and you need the Clan Boss calculator. But speed is king. That is absolutely true. Hey, Philly, I just wanted to shout out anybody who I missed. I think Philly may be the only one I missed. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Just a reminder, we will be doing our Noob versus Pro on Friday stream. That will start at 2 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be an hour later than this stream started today. And then next week we'll be back with Tuesday Takeovers, Takeover Tuesday. So if you are looking for a takeover, you can come in here, make sure you join our Discord. You'll apply. You can do the whole wheel of takeover contest here. And then if you're the lucky person chosen, just we'll do a takeover for you. I just ask that you have a little bit of silver if you can. Just a little bit. That'd be nice. Otherwise, yeah. There's if you're not sure of the stream schedule, I've put it up on the YouTube channel in the About section. So you can always find my my current streaming schedule there. And we are thinking about adding a day on Twitch, so we may do that. We may take one of these days and move them over to Twitch. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see in the future, but we do want to like kind of cross-pollinate both platforms and get that going. All right. So that is it for me, son. How you doing? Doing all right. All right. We got to get back to the grind on our Noob versus Pro accounts where son is just kicking my butt up and down all over the place. It's ugly. It's ugly. Yeah, maybe next week you can do the takeovers, man. I'm not sure I'm qualified to be up here, but okay. So anyway. Yeah. All right. So thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. Hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and say goodbye, son. All right. Thanks so much.